good, baby. I'm about to show them what a boss really about. What you here for? Strictly business. I'm bossed up. I'm bossed up. I got boss in my IV. Just check my ID, and that's why I be the HNIC. People despise me. My services ain't free. Ain't trying to hear your story, homie. Cop me, no please. In high school, corner, quarterback. Nowadays, corner, quarter sack. Keep that on the low. Rappers turning into rats. Try snitching on they self. DEA ransack.
What's good? What's poppin'? Your boys are in the building, and the queens are in the building. Again, everybody, y'all should know Don T is here. Special guest, Triple B, Sabrina, in the building. Hold on, you kind of low, just a little low. No, try it again. You might be too far.
Can you hear me now?
There you go.
Okay.
There we go. All right, introduce yourself real quick.
Hi, so my name is Brina on all socials. I have a podcast called The Playbook Before the Playbook, where we discuss people's starts and beginnings and other affirmations and mantras. And I also am just a student in life of sports.
Yeah, she is going to be kicking it with us today. We got Danita, of course. T is in the building. T forgot to bring the damn trophy with her, so we can't gloat about the Glass City Bowl champ. Well, I can't call it championship, but you won the bowl game.
I'm gonna have it next week, I promise.
All right. So I'm gonna cut all the bullshit. We was talking about it earlier. Before we get to it, Mulish, how you doing, man? You muted.
Oh, yeah, I'm good, man. I'm good. It's been a crazy week. Building some houses and whatnot in the Bay Area. A lot of rain. So there's that. But other than that, hey, I'm here. I'm good. Ready to get it.
All right. So a little different. We normally start with the warm-up, but we're going to start with a very special Talk Your Shit.
Mark, you know the vibe. More time I'll talk about jizz. Let me talk my shit.
Bro, talk your shit.
Skid like Tokyo, drift on my whips like 100.
Talk your shit.
Just spent $500,000 in a crib, got 120,000 on my
Talk your
wrist.
shit.
Okay. So football show 100%, but if you've been around long enough, we always get into the WNBA. That's a bag that we get into all the time. So I'm gonna play some. It's a little long, but one of my arch nemesis, Jamel Hill, opened up her mouth again. Let's have some fun.
Actually acknowledging the contributions, the sweat equity that Black women have put into this game. And you can tell a lot. Well, let me just big picture this real quick, though, Dan, is that as Caitlin Clark's popularity was rising, and particularly after it exploded when her and Angel Reese met in that national championship game, she did the infamous Angel Reese to John Cena motion, and we saw a certain section of people galvanizing around Caitlin Clark. We saw it then, and it only continued to grow. And there was a nice amount of disingenuous people who were not basketball fans, certainly not they were not women's basketball fans, to be clear. They were not fans of women's basketball, but Caitlin Clark became their avatar. She became their vessel to express a lot of the hateful and racist opinions that they had about Black women, about queer women, and about the WNBA overall, to some degree about all women. So she became their sort of bat signal for that. And she's been asked questions sort of along these same lines before. And, while she didn't specifically mention white privilege, she has certainly always had a level of respect and reverence for the pioneers that came before her. I mean, it represents the generation that actually grew up watching the WNBA, familiarizing herself with this league, understanding the legacy and the history of this league. And all she was doing is giving a nod to that. And she knows, like a lot of white players in the WNBA know, and they've said it, Kelsey Plum, Breanna Stewart, is that they get elevated, they get marketed, they get pushed in a way that Black women in that league who have accomplished similar things do not get the same endorsement opportunities, the same marketing. The marketing riddle of the WNBA prior to this moment has been, how do you market a league that is 70% Black, where a third of the players identify as queer? How do you do that?
I'm gonna answer how you do that, but what do y'all take from that? How do y'all, first of all, how do y'all feel about Caitlin Clark being the first WNBA player to grace the cover of the Time magazine as Athlete of the Year, and just your overall feeling on what Jamel Hill was talking about?
Well, I mean, I guess the question, I mean, I do understand how she feels about it, the young lady that was talking, or the older lady. I'm not quite familiar with who she is, because I mean, I played basketball all through high school, and it was what is her name? The Swoops, Cheryl Swoops.
Cheryl Swoops.
When she had she was the first, female basketball player to have actual, shoes that came out, you know. I was the first one on the train, to get me some Swoops, and I guess people are kind of, I don't really necessarily think that I do agree with her where the fact of, there is a certain agenda being pushed, as far as, yeah, there's, Cheryl Swoops, there's Lisa Leslie, Shamika Holtzclaw, all of those players that, played in the NBA before, she came along, and it's not a thing of, I mean, that was a while ago, and it, I think a lot of, for me personally, I feel like a lot of times it's kind of seen as, well, you need to pay homage to these players that were before you. Okay. But how much homage am I supposed to pay? I guess is a good question, because I mean, Angel Reese, Caitlin Clark, this is their era of playing basketball, they're in the spotlight, and it's not just them two. I guess the question is, at what point have you paid enough homage to these players, for you to be, yeah, for you to be looked at as being a relevant player? Because, it kind of seems like if you don't, you're doing them a disservice, but if you think about it, back when they played, who were they paying homage to? I mean, I didn't see a lot of, kind of that going on to where it was like in your face of like, well, you need to be, vocalizing your opinions about the basketball players before you.
I'm glad you said that.
So
That's where I was going to go with this. Exactly where I was going to go. See, Sabrina is young, so this is probably over her head a little bit.
No, I think during this time with Caitlin Clark, I've learned who Cheryl Swoops is. I learned more about Dawn Staley and her impact. But when it comes to paying homage, it's because she ignores things. That's why people were like, why do you keep ignoring it? She says she's not on social media, so she doesn't see her fans acting that way. And it's like, you have time to like a Taylor Swift post, but you have no time to say, hey, stop getting behind me or stop using my name for that. That's not my character. That's not what I believe in. She didn't do none of that. So it was like, oh, so you're turning a blind eye on it. That's why people got angry. It was like, so you don't care. So you don't care about the people before you. And then her favorite player is Maya Moore. And Maya Moore left the league for something impactful. So it's like, she stood up for something. So wouldn't you follow that and be like, hey, guys, hold on. If I wouldn't be here without these women. I don't have this opportunity without these women. So I'm happy that we can turn a new leaf and start a new chapter. And I get to be one of the first to do that. But I didn't start this. I'm not the first. I'm not going to be last. And the women NBA is built from Black women, gay women. And it's like, you could say something. You could do something. You have a platform.
Okay. T, what you got? You muted.
Okay. So I see both of their points. And so I am older, right? And I do believe in paying homage, but at the same time, she is starting a new generation and leading a new push, right? The WNBA had record viewership with Caitlin Clark, which is unfortunate because there's been some amazing basketball players before Caitlin Clark. But let's look at it. It's the face that Caitlin Clark has, which brings the viewership. I mean, that's just what it is, right? I do believe that she could speak up and be a bigger impact as far as mentorship goes, because little girls do look up to her. And we do want to have positive, right? Positive role models for little girls. I'll put this in relation to women's tackle football. So we have Linda Jefferson, who's in the NFL. Well, she's in the Hall of Fame, right? She has the most yards of any female ever. And honestly, nobody kind of looked at Linda until we started playing in Canton at the NFL Hall of Fame. And we invited the Toledo Troopers out and said, this is who this person is.
But can I ask you a question, though? Just to
Sure.
piggyback off what you just said.
Yeah.
Who brought the light to her? Was it the new
To
players
Linda?
or the old players?
I believe it was the league.
It was you guys.
Yeah.
It was you. It was
Yeah.
because y'all were playing there, right?
Yes.
Okay. Now, this is where I'm gonna go with this. This is very layered in the conversation. Okay. And in order to get respect, you must give respect. Okay. Now, everybody touched on very good points. And everybody is 100% right in how they feel and what they said. The issue really isn't she has to pay homage to Black women. That's where all of this is really centered around. Because during the season, they were saying that her fans and her, to a certain extent, were racist. Okay? So what you did in essence is that you bullied Caitlin Clark into being racist. What I mean by that is she only acknowledged the Black women who built the WNBA. She didn't acknowledge anyone else. Now, the league was built by players, not one specific group of players, but all players, Hispanic, white, Arab, all of them, because they all came from overseas to the WNBA. But we're only singling out one group. Now, so we're going to say Sue Bird didn't have a hand or a brick in the building of the WNBA, or Rebecca Lobo, Katie Smith. I got a whole list. Penny Taylor, Tisha Pinheiro. Like, there's a lot of women, sorry, I don't want to say girls, that had a hand in building this, along with Shamika Holsclaw, who's from Queens. I know Shamika personally. The Lisa Leslies, the Cheryl Swoops, the Tina Charles, Tina Thompson. Like all of those women had a brick to lay in building this league. And to make her only single out one group is a slap in the face to everybody else. Now, I don't have a problem with her saying, look, I am here because of all of the great, amazing women that came before me that paved the way for me. Because that's not a slap in the face to anybody. And then it's the agenda pushing for me, saying that they don't market Black women. Yes, they do. But no one wants.
Think about how Asia Wilson had to fight for her shoe deal, her brand with her collection with Nike. How everyone had to go on an upward just for that, and she had hers. It was easy. It's okay. So she signed with Nike. She's about to have something coming out. Asia was signed. She was been signed, but they forgot about it. It was like she got pushed on the back burner. And that's what people are saying. Like, okay, well, there's Asia Wilson. There's Asia Wilson. Athlete of the year should have been Asia Wilson.
There's a difference, and I love Asia. I see Asia all the time. I told you, like, Asia, she comes to my job. I speak to all the aces all the time. There's a big difference in being the best player and the most popular.
A lot. That's true.
Sometimes those two things can go hand in hand, and sometimes they don't. Because when the league has always marketed its best players. But for some reason at this moment with the WNBA, the light was just brighter and more scrutiny came upon Caitlin Clark. Did they make Diana Taurasi pay homage to Black women when she came into the league?
Did she have fans that were making, like, think about how during the season when she started from her rookie year, Dejanay Carrington and Kennedy Carter, how much hate they got from her fans. That's something that they were wanting her to say something about. It was like, hey, your mates in the league, they're sacrificing their peace for you, because on social media they're getting all these hate text messages, these death threats because they hit her. They have a discourse on CNN talking about she should be charged. How would she get charged from what happened on a court to real life? Because,
all right, what you're saying is correct. That has absolutely nothing to do with Caitlin Clark. What happened to the WNBA is what people used to say all the time: be careful what you wish for, because you just might get it.
Mm-hmm.
What happened was nobody was watching the WNBA. And then everybody started watching the WNBA. And what comes along with popularity, love and hate, they come together at the same time. So when you get the cheers, scrutiny is on the other side of that. Because they champion LeBron James about how great he is. But everybody kind of forgets how they treated Russell Westbrook, where his wife had to come to his defense. Talking about he's a man at the end of the day. He's a father. He's a husband. The WNBA never saw that side because nobody covered it and nobody's seen it. Now, I watched it. I knew what the WNBA was about. Mula understands what the WNBA is about. And so we weren't new to it, but there were a lot of people that were new, and their eyes saw a game that they're not used to. They saw players that they're not used to. And most of them came flocking in because of one player. Not all, just most. Angel Reese brought in a group. Carmela Cardoso brought in a group. What's the name from LA?
Rakia?
Cameron Brink.
Cam Brink brought players. Yeah. Rakia brought players. Like this draft was the most important draft in WNBA history. Because if the league is going to succeed, this was the group that was going to kick it off. They already added 2 expansion teams because of this draft. I mean, because of this group of women.
They're trying to add one here.
Yeah. So, and then back to the original is about the marketing and what you should do. What you should do if you want to market the league, don't yell at people and tell them what they should do. Don't do that. Because traditionally,
go ahead.
Okay, I'm just last thing and I'm gonna go. Because traditionally, they've promoted all of the Black women. There have been 20 women with signature shoes in the WNBA. 12 of them were Black women.
I will speak to. I'll speak. So I don't watch basketball. Never have. That's not my sport. I'm more of a contact type female, right? I will be honest. When I started seeing these women come in and play, right? So, you heard chatter. Y'all always know, everybody knows attention, whether it's good or bad, is good for your marketing. Whether it's bad attention or good, it doesn't matter. It brought in a brand new viewership. This was the largest viewership. My 14-year-old daughter has played basketball her whole life. And I was like, like whatever. But they brought in a different viewership. The marketing group has expanded. Before, who used to watch women's basketball for real? Their families, their friends. It just wasn't, it was all right, but when they started playing, everybody wanted to see not what was happening on the court, but what was happening on the court. Does that make sense? They weren't there to
Right.
watch them shoot. They was there to watch the friction, the drama,
The drama.
the everything else. That's what they were there for. So that's just my standpoint. Publicity, good or bad, is publicity. It's marketing.
Right.
And the WNBA started getting money. People started throwing money at them because that's what people want. You know what I'm saying? So that's just my point of view.
Yeah, and it's just, and Jordan Brand, and I'm gonna let you go, Melissa. Like Jordan Brand has the highest amount of female branded athletes of any major brand. More than Nike, more than Adidas, more than Under Armour, more than all of them. Jordan Brand. No one talks about it. But these are things that you got, like the amount of, I think the first NIL player in college was a girls basketball player.
She went to UCLA.
Yeah,
That was
Kiki
Kiki.
Bryce.
Yeah, it was Kiki.
And Michaela Williams at LSU.
Mm-hmm.
Right. The first high school girl to get an NIL deal, Special K.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't the guys. It wasn't a guy. None of the high school basketball players or high school football players. No, my brother, he coaches girls basketball in LA. He coaches against Special K. He told me about her 2 years ago. So the acknowledgement is there. The branding is there. All of the advertising stuff is there. The problem is the people who are talking about this, they don't watch women's basketball.
No, they don't. I think the crappy part is when it comes to women's sports, I don't understand why it always goes this way. If when men play basketball, the NBA, whether it's professional, the D League, all of that, the topics that come with women's basketball is always different than on the men's side. I mean, the fact that we're not having these conversations about, players' talent, how good they are out there, the stuff that they, they do. It's the but it's kind of like what you said, before nobody was watching and now they are. I think at the same time they were not ready, for what was coming. If that makes sense. Like, like you said, you wish for something, you got it, and it's like, well, this is not necessarily what we wanted. We wanted it to be this over here. It wound up being this over here. And the crappy part is for those players who, I to this day, Charles Barkley was my favorite basketball player. I wore his number in high school. I wore his number when I played semi-pro basketball. And I always remember the statement that he said of, I am not a role model, and to me, it's always, it's a different standard when it's on the women's side, like it's a thing of you should act this way, you need to look this way, you need to present yourself this way. It's never about, what the player can actually do. It's what I always tell my football team. It's funny how it's always about everything else except the actual game.
But the game.
Yeah.
What you got,
That's true. And it's interesting, right? This conversation is interesting because a few aspects or a few contextual clues, right? We all know that drama sells. We all know that everybody's going to cling to drama, right? So a lot of new fans influctuated WNBA or women's basketball because of the so-called drama between Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese, and that just poured into the WNBA. But now you have the whole drama between her and Kennedy Carter, and then her and Dejanay Carrington, and then the tweets and all the stuff like that. So a lot of people are tuned in just to see what happens on the court, like T said, like on the court, but not on the court, if that makes sense. So it's just interesting to where she's, like Mel said, essentially being bullied into speaking on, issues that, hey, she may not even care about, bro. And at the end of the day, for me, like as an athlete, I'm not one to pressure somebody into talking about something that they don't really care about or they don't really feel to talk about. If they want to pay homage to the person to the people that came above them, bet, sure, whatever. If you don't, oh well, I don't fucking care about that either, honestly. But it's just the fact that she comes off as a player or as a person that's like, she just wants to play basketball at the end of the day, right? And a lot of people are taking her name or taking her image and trying to use it to spin it in a negative connotation. But she's just like, I just want to fucking hoop, bro, at the end of the goddamn day. She reminds me a lot of Kevin Durant in mentality wise, where everybody expects him to be a leader. Everybody expects him to speak out on social media about issues and this and that. And bro's like, yeah, sure, but I don't really care. Like, I can't force myself to care about some shit that y'all care about so badly. And I get it, y'all care about it, and it may be important to y'all, but to me, all I give a fuck about is basketball, and all I want to do is play basketball. So can I just play basketball? Which is kind of the thing that Caitlin Clark wants to say, but she knows if she says that, she's going to get a lot of backlash. So, of course,
she's going to get
the
hit.
PR, her managers, all the people like that, they're going to tell her to keep it PG or whatever the case may be. But at the end of the day, we can't force people to care about some things or to pay homage to the people just because other people want them to. Like, y'all can do that. Y'all be loud and be proud for everybody else. But if somebody just wants to come in and hoop, bro, just let them come in and hoop. All that extra shit is that should be out the door, bro, especially for that person. Like, if they come out, especially, and say it like she has multiple occasions, I just want to hoop, then leave it at that. She's one of them people that don't care about it. So leave it at that. Go find somebody who does care about it and who will push these narratives or agendas or push the whatever it is forward. But obviously she's not one of them. So just leave her alone, let her play basketball. That's my mentality about it.
Yep. And and I'm one of those people, I hate when the conversation goes to race and all the other things and not about the actual sport itself. Because that's everybody's gonna have their opinions on those things, and you're not gonna sway nobody left or right. So
I can see that. It's like, let's not force it. If she cares, she cares. If she doesn't, she doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. All right. So that's part is over. I want to get that out the way. Let's get to the warm up.
Hey, it's a man's game tonight now. You know that. It's a man's game tonight. Here we come. Here we come. It's a man's game now. Oh, it's on. Oh, it's on, big boy. It's going to be a football game tonight now. No doubt. It's going to be a football game here. Let's go. Let's play. Put your hands on them and let's play. Let's see if they can play physical football today. Let's see if they can run without nobody touching. You know what I'm talking about? They ain't ready for.
Yeah, y'all not ready for this one. Y'all not ready at all. Let's have some fun. So, you know how we do the warm up. We like to laugh a little bit before we get serious again.
Jay Biggs is from this area. 1 year ago, he was selling bricks in Houston, Texas.
What do you mean by that?
All right, so
Why would they?
I picked him up on my fantasy team just for that.
Why would they do that? They know exactly what
I have no idea. With no context whatsoever.
No context. You're not even gonna follow up with a statement like
they were trying to explain how bad it was. That's why they did that.
Like he was selling bricks.
Well, shoot, if you got him for the low, brother, hit me.
If you got him for the low, I'm here.
Right, because bricks is expensive nowadays.
Hey, I'll be in Detroit in April, man. Just let me know something.
Let me know what you're cooking with over there. I'm trying to I forgot to download this. We got more evidence that Inside the Huddle is the greatest football show ever created.
Right.
Yeah. So y'all know how I like to tell y'all we stay ahead of things way before everybody else. And people like y'all be lying, but no matter how many receipts we get, how many receipts we put up. Where is this at? Why can't I find it? I just downloaded it. Where you at? Right here. And just for, another notching me and Moolich's belt here because we've been doing this for a minute. So ESPN, and Moolich is gonna laugh because he's gonna know because me and him had a private conversation about this in the back a little while ago. They posted this, did a whole thing on Josh Butler. Did a whole thing on it. Whole thing. You know who was on that ass first? But Josh didn't want to reach out to us. And I got the proof. This is the proof. You can look at the date. April 24th, 2023. Talk about his life story, the dog, everything. I know all about him. When I tell you they steal all of our stuff, they steal all our stuff. So Josh, if you want to have a real conversation, hit me back. We can talk about it. We can get into it.
You got to send another message. You said that was 2023, right?
Right. He didn't even look at it.
Okay. You got to be persistent. You can't just leave one message and be like, "Oh man, hear me back."
Yeah, he don't follow me, so I only got one message.
You can be in the comments though. People see comments.
No, I tagged him in a couple videos.
Oh.
See, we did that with a couple other people who got caught. Like Cam. Cam got caught watching our videos because he must watch them so much that he started quoting us.
Mm.
Cam,
See, that's the receipt. Yeah. Those are the receipts you need to be shown.
Yep. I got Cam. 2 weeks, was it last week or 2 weeks ago we did Cam?
Last week.
It was last week, right? We got Cam. It's all good. Like, we like it. That just lets me know we doing something right.
Colin Cowherd took my entire Bronny breakdown.
Colin took the whole fucking
He done plagiarized you.
Literally. Bar for bar, word for word.
Bar for bar. What was this?
My cologne. What made me want to make my own cologne is me just wanting to smell good. Okay, people may not know this about me, but I rather prefer like girl perfume or something, like some real soft. So that's what made me want to create something unisex, instead of just all about us men. I was like, man, I like to smell like a female sometimes. So get something that can, be in between.
Can you describe the scent?
Wonderful, soft. For the women, sexy probably. For the guys, how we be, like a man. So you can get this right here on air8apparel.com. Nightlight.
All right. This generation is cooked.
No, but hold on though. He did.
No, I'm not. That's that's why I was gonna say.
You buy it and smell it.
This is why I'm glad I said there are 3 women on the show today that I can get a real answer on this. Go ahead, B.
He's going down. He's going. Listen. So I posted on my story just yesterday about it because people were saying, "Oh, he's wild." No, they smell better in fragrance, like in perfumes. Baccarat 540. Everyone was blowing it up. All the girls' body. It smells better on men. It's just the body chemistry. They were. Yeah. It smells 10. See, it smells 10 times better. Fragrance is fragrance. Go crazy. Tobacco Vanille by Tom Ford smells better on men. What's it called? Utopia by K. Ollie smells better on men. That whole Dior Sauvage is burnt out. It's high school. It smells like Axe from Walmart. You gotta try something new. He knew what he was doing.
Okay. This is
he knows.
Okay.
He be at sex. He knows.
No. Okay.
Is it okay? Is it because of what he said?
It's twofold. It's twofold.
Okay.
You can't say I want to smell like a woman. No man wants to smell like a woman.
You sure?
Marketing was back.
No. There's only certain times that you want to smell like a woman, and this is not the show to have that conversation. Okay. So
is that inside the huddle after dark?
Inside the huddle after dark?
Okay. All right.
That actually would take place on Gentleman's Talk on Wednesdays.
We might have to table that on Gentleman's Talk. We got to bring that on Gentleman's Talk.
Gentleman's Talk type of conversation.
But listen,
the ladies are absolutely welcome on Gentleman's Talk.
You are absolutely welcome. That's a whole nother thing. That's a whole nother environment.
Okay.
Stop buying cheap ass cologne. That's all that really is. If you gonna have to spend $300 to $400 on your cologne. You're gonna have to.
If you want to smell,
You missed the part about the
luxurious.
body chemistry, right? That she was explaining.
I don't care. Look,
You don't care.
It's
I don't
a
care.
step though. It's like a whole routine. That's why it's a whole routine. The body wash gotta match the lotion. The lotion gotta match
Everything
the oil.
exactly.
That it's a routine.
That's what I mean by men.
What's your routine,
Young
Mel?
Me.
No.
So,
mine.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
I got a whole thing. Like, see, I'm old school too. So some of I combine the new school shit with the old school shit that I got. So I'll take like my coconut butter and on my cocoa butter, and I'll put the cologne in the cocoa butter, and I'll put it on, and I put it on my body. So I don't have to spray the cologne on 1,000 times a day or once in the morning, whatever. The lotion or the cocoa oil it keeps it in there. That's what I do. Now I got the body wash and face stuff. All that stuff is in there. I got it. I had to learn this. This was after my 20s, though.
He's trying to help the younger generations. He's trying to help the rookies. And,
I'm trying to help. Yeah.
Maybe he's thinking about it because he's always around men. So he's like, "Oh, y'all people stink. We gotta do something different." And that smells good because we gotta put people on.
Yeah, women like to be around men that smell good. That's just.
I think that's just anybody. I mean, I don't want to be around females that smell bad. So, I mean,
that's even more disappointing. I feel like that's just even more disappointing.
But you are less likely to bump into a woman who smells bad than a man that smells bad.
Very much.
My wife said that's not true.
Huh?
My wife said that's
what she say? What's not true?
She said that's cap.
That's cap.
I mean, hey, I guess it depends on the circles you're running in.
Or the random ass people.
Some pretty funky women.
But I will say this though. Like I was telling Mel backstage, I am one to have a whole routine and mix the smells that go on, right? So I will throw on, you know what I'm saying, the men's cologne, but also throw on the ladies' perfume just to get a kind of good little mix kind of going on. But they gotta blend together, you know what I'm saying? I ain't just throwing on some no regular shit. You feel me? Like I go on mom shit, you feel me, and go get her expensive shit and mix it with my expensive shit. And then now we got some, you know what I'm saying? We got a match made in heaven. You know what I mean? So I'm always up to par with my smells because I'm always got my smell goods going. So I feel him and I'm inclined to try it just to see how it is. Because if it's the perfect Joan, I'm in there.
Okay.
It definitely has to do with matching the scent because you can buy an expensive perfume. Black Opium by YSL is disgusting, but people buy it anyway. And you can mix that with anything. But like tobacco honey, tobacco vanilla, those go together.
The tobacco vanilla.
That's a thing people should start doing, women and men. Like YSL, Libra, that's unisex to me. Anybody can wear that. So I get what he's saying.
Personally, and that one's fire.
Fire.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, testimony. But he should market that way better.
Yeah.
Yeah, he should have said he didn't have to say I want to smell like a woman. That was my biggest.
The breakdown wasn't how.
Yeah.
But he got people's attention, so I didn't know he sold perfume. So cologne, whatever it is.
I think this is new. I think he just started this. This is the first one. I think. I could be wrong. Okay.
As long as it's not no more mayo perfume, please. Okay.
I was about to say we can get on Will Levitz, but we're not gonna do that.
Don't bring out no more mayo-based perfume ever again. All right.
Ridiculous. Absolutely nuts. All right. Next conversation I want to table. Last night we had a situation with Devondre Campbell where he walked off the field in the third quarter during the Rams game. How did y'all watch that? Or do y'all not know what happened?
I seen some clips.
Same here. Yeah.
Just seen some clips.
I'm starting to see this as being I don't know what's going on because he's not the first player to do that. So, it's like,
we were traveling last night. What happened? What happened?
Okay. This is what happened. Devondre Campbell has been starting for the 49ers since the beginning of the season. They brought him in because Dre Greenlaw tore his Achilles in the Super Bowl. So he's basically filling in for Dre Greenlaw. Now, okay, let me say this. I never agree with players walking off the field like that. I do not. But I 100% don't blame him. I blame Kyle Shanahan, and I blame all of the football players, former football players, Shady McCoy, Emmanuel Acho, who also watched the show because they stole some shit too. But I'm gonna need y'all to talk about this tomorrow because I'm gonna light both y'all asses up right now. Kyle Shanahan is the one who's mostly responsible for this. I'm always stand on players don't lose their job because of injury. So there's a way you do it and there's a way you don't do it. Kyle Shanahan chose the absolute worst way to bring Dre Greenlaw back into the fold of this team. So Devondre Campbell started all 13 games this year. He's the second leading tackler on the team, one of the staples of that defense this whole season. Now, Dre Greenlaw comes back. What you're supposed to do is you kind of just work him in. You get him in. Let Devondre start. You rotate them in and out of packages. Let him get his feet wet because he hasn't played for 14 weeks. Even longer than that. That's just the regular season I'm talking about. Because what happened was his foot started feeling tight because he hasn't been running. And they were playing in inclement weather. It was a mess. It was nasty. So they didn't want to further get him injured or re-aggravated or anything like that. So they turned around and looked at Devondre Campbell, was like, yo, go play. And he said, no, I'm not going in. And the reason why, and I don't blame him for saying that and feeling that way, because there's a way you're supposed to introduce it. Because what could have happened was you could have rotated them in and out, rotated, and then when Greenlaw felt the tightness, or maybe he doesn't feel tightness at all, they're both getting compensated and they're both playing. What you did was you told one to sit down and don't play at all, and then when Greenlaw was feeling like, it's the weather, if I slip or I take a wrong step, I may re-aggravate this. I don't want to play no more. Because we're forgetting Dre Greenlaw also said he didn't want to play no more. That's why they went to Devondre Campbell. So, and I'll get to Emmanuel Acho and what Shady and them said, but that's the backstory. What do y'all feel about that?
I mean, can you go to your job and say you don't want to work today?
Exactly.
Yes.
Yes, you can just walk into your job and show up, and then they'd be like, hey, we need you to do da 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 because that's what we hired you for. You
I'm the boss,
you just
so
say no. Huh?
I'm the boss. So I'm the boss. So
okay, boss. Let's flip this then. Boss, if one of your employees came into work and said, hey, I don't want to work today, what you gonna do?
See,
because I mean, at the end of the day, you getting paid X amount of dollars, regardless of if you've been out for 14 weeks, regardless if you sat out all season, because y'all got all these great trainers, physical therapists, all of this stuff. Your job is to play football. I mean, I understand you have your feelings, your concerns, your queries, all of this. But at the end of the day, that paycheck still comes.
True. 100%.
At least a bad taste in the league's mouth, too. That's a dangerous game to play with the whole league. The NFL is not for long. And they don't care. You're a moving piece to them. And then also you have your teammates. You owe them loyalty, basically. So when they're looking at you, like George Kittle said, he don't want to work with a guy like that. That's another thing.
And that's cool. See, the crazy thing about it is that was one of the sticking points. Because I'm playing devil's advocate. I'm arguing for the other side.
Yeah.
That's what a conversation. That's what a conversation is. Where was the loyalty to Devondre Campbell?
Is loyalty on his contract?
No, because You brought him in to do a job, and he was doing the job. He was doing the job very, very well.
Okay.
No, see,
But everyone
but
knew that about the NFL though. There's no loyalty in it.
No, there's not.
Anybody be loyal to
right
anybody.
now, and I love it. Cook, I love it. She in owner mode right now.
I get that, but at the same time, it's like that's your job. And
That
the
is
49ers
your
been
job.
struggling
You're
all year
right.
anyway. They already been going.
no, but that's my point. It's like they told him he can't do his job, but then got mad when he said, "I don't want to do the job."
But that's the job.
If
If they say
that's the stage where you have to put your feelings aside and be the bigger man, and say, "Okay, let me show out for a second. Even though this is how y'all treated me, let me do this." That was his opportunity to do that.
But he's been showing out all season.
True.
Okay.
But if you're gonna be mad at the time where I decide that I'm gonna go, and I get you right, I'm 100% with you, Mill. That's for surely on Kyle Shanahan, the defensive coordinator and the linebacker. You're supposed to work that guy in slowly but surely, and at the same time, knowing that you have another guy that's playing on a broken ankle, you should already have Devondre Campbell in the back of your head. Like, all right, well, as soon as Fred can't go, which is probably going to be soon, considering the man broke his ankle in week 3, we're gonna need you and Dre to pull this out. So I'm completely with you there. But
yeah, I'm just
now you choose the time to get in your goddamn feelings, dog.
Hey.
Now, like, bro, I
feel
get it. I completely understand what you're going through, big dog. Trust me, I've been there. Okay, personally, I've been there. But now, right now, like right now, on the sideline, you're gonna take up your helmet and walk away. I'm not even gonna lie to you. We gotta fight. We have to fight, bro. We have to fight. Before you get to the tunnel, you have to see me in the end zone because there's no way. There's no way at a certain point in time, playing for the coaches, playing for the win. That's just out of your mind. I'm playing for the nigga next to me. I'm playing for the people next to me, right? And the nigga walked away, bro. Like, what? What are we doing? I'm sorry. I'd have threw a helmet at him or something because there's no way. He should have got hit with a cleat.
Because it's.
I think that's the problem right there, though. And you know what? I've heard people over the years talking about how football has gotten soft now. You know, it ain't like how it used to be or whatever. But when you have those types of actions backed also with the, the way they play out there, I mean, I kind of agree. I mean, you're getting to, from somebody who played for 15 years and didn't make a damn dime as a player. If I was getting paid, I don't know how much money the man making. He making way more than I am or ever would as a player. Feelings aside, I mean, there's your feelings and then there's business, like you got the team that you're playing for, like you said, the people next to you or whatever. I understand that, yes, you are a person, you are a human being, you have your own thoughts, your own mind, and your own feelings. But at the end of the day, you still signed a contract to play football. And it's kind of like what we were talking about with the basketball thing. I mean, it becomes everything else but the football or everything else but the basketball. We kind of let the outside stuff kind of come in and then you walking away and not playing the game because you mad. I mean, if you had a youth team and some child walked off the field because he was mad because you put Joe in over me and I've been here this whole time and you would be pissed off. You wouldn't be sitting there talking about, well, I understand his feelings. I mean, he had every right to feel that way.
See, but this is
you
where
grown-ass man.
This is where you can understand a person's point of view and understand why they did what they did and not agree with it.
True. And whatever happens after that, you should not say nothing. You don't get mad.
No. When you see, this is like this is the Shady McCoy part of all of this. For him to get in front of a camera and lie, which he does a lot of. So I'm not shocked. I'm not shocked that, he lied again. But he must have forgot that he was in the exact same position in Kansas City. And the reason why he left Kansas City was because of the offensive coordinator, which was Eric Bieniemy.
Yep.
Which he said out of his own mouth on the I Am Athlete podcast about it. Like, you got mad because you got benched, and you and Eric Bieniemy had issues. You did the exact same thing. You didn't walk off the field, but you were inactive for a lot of games. And you were mad, and you bitched about it, and you still talk crazy about Eric Bieniemy to this day because of it.
But there's talking and then there's doing. That's two different things. I can talk shit all day and never go, do what I said that I, was talking about. But then there's you actually, completed the action of walking off the field because you were mad.
Yeah, no, I mean, like I said, walking off the field, like I said, that's why I said in the beginning, I do not condone walking off the field. Mm-mm.
And that's where I draw the line.
I missed that. I must have missed that part. I was probably too busy talking. Okay, I got you. So,
that's where I draw the line right there. Like, if you in your feelings, that's cool. I get it. Take off your uniform, take off your shoulder pads, your helmet, put a sweater on, put your sweats on, and just chill on the sideline. But the fact that you walked off the field, brother, like, I am sorry. Bro, I'm sorry. As a brother, I'm sorry. I like, if I'm coming to you, like, bro, I get it. I understand what they own right now, and I get it that they own some weird type of hype. You feel me? But I need you though. Like, me personally, as your teammate, I need you to come into this game. That's why I feel like Tre'Davious Ward was so upset about it, because we're down the linebacker already in Fred. Dre just got back and he's already down. So, bro, we need you in this zone right now. And you take your helmet off and you walk off of the field because you said you didn't want to play, not because you're hurt, not because you didn't want to. You could have told me your feelings was hurt, and I'd have been like, okay, Ben, I get that.
Well,
so we can step that aside and start playing football. But you told your brother, your teammate, the person you've been grinding with for over 13 weeks, you don't want to play. And walk your ass off that field. Yeah, to me, don't.
But this is where, see, everything that you said is why, if I was one of the other 10 players on the field, because I've done this before, the second I would have heard that they was going to start Dre Greenlaw, I'm pulling both the coaches to the side.
Oh yeah, no, it's a problem for sure.
That's not a good idea to do that, because we're going to lose him. We can't afford to lose a player to a non-injury type of thing because you want to make a move that's probably not. We don't need to make it the way that you're making it right now.
Look, can I step in real quick? So look, check it out. Mm-hmm. He gets a paycheck, right?
Yeah.
Get his ass on that fucking field. No questions asked.
That's
but
not
hold
how that
up.
Works.
And if he doesn't, if he doesn't, don't pay his ass. Period.
That's not how that works, though. See,
in the military, we got something called AWOL, and his ass was AWOL.
Yeah, but the thing about it is, it's easy to say that, but that's not how that works. That's not how that operates. That's why
it was easy for him to walk off the field.
Because that's the way. Because if you watch it, there was never if there was a conversation to him about what was going to happen, he doesn't act that way. You can, as a football player, we all know when shit happens and you have no idea why it's happening. You so everybody else knew this was going on but me.
It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, he is not the owner. Listen, he's not the owner and he is not the coach. He should have played in that game or set the bench or whatever it was. And after that game, showed his ass. But I agree with you walked off the field for something you get paid for at the end of the day, bottom line up front. You might have been pissed off, like he said, take off your whatever, but you walked off the field on your team. Okay, so you're a parent, right? You're a parent, you got kids?
Yeah.
You ever got pissed off at your kids?
Yep.
You ever left your kids in the store because they done asked for too much shit too much?
No.
You can't do that. You just that's unacceptable behavior.
No. See,
And
but
we
no,
have
but
allowed
what's
it, but we've
we're
allowed
not.
it to happen way too much.
But we're skipping over the bad behavior that led to the action. The bad behavior was the coaching staff not relaying the information properly. You
But guess
cannot.
what? What happens if the owner, we all know Jerry, right? What happens if the owner come down and say, hey, start old boy over him today? What the coach is
It
gonna say?
doesn't matter.
No.
It doesn't matter. Somebody still has to explain it to him.
If I own a team, which I do,
Where's that at?
and one of my players tell me, oh, you gonna start so-and-so over me,
He
F
didn't
that,
say
and they walk
no,
off.
but he didn't say that. That's the whole point. The whole point, everything started in the third quarter when they started Greenlaw. He played for almost 2.5 quarters, and then said he doesn't want to play anymore because he doesn't want to injure his foot. And then they turned around and told Devondre, okay, you can go in now. That's not how that works. No,
He
because
better
you
put
never.
on his big boy boxers and get his ass on that field.
Nah, that's not how that
So
works.
you think it should have?
That's not.
I'm trying to understand your perspective on this. You feel like he should have been told earlier that he wasn't going to play?
Yes.
During halftime, but that's the area and time to do that. Like, okay, the next plan is going to be X, Y, and Z. Do you think he's going to get fined?
He's gonna get released. He's gonna get released.
He got released. Yeah, he got released.
No, the coaching staff before the game started, if they knew, the coaching staff knew that they was gonna start him on Thursday night. So on Monday, they should have told Devondre, like, look, this is what we're gonna do Thursday night. What happened, of course, like clearly that conversation did not happen. As a head coach, I don't make no moves unless I speak to every moving part. Every single part.
And Mel, I get that. I completely understand that. Like I said, I'm coming from a personal standpoint. I've been in this situation to where I've had to step in for the starter, and as soon as the starter gets back, first game of the playoffs, bro,
they stay playing.
Bro, he in there, he in the game, and he gets hurt again. And who do they look to? Me,
but
right?
Yeah, think about it. But all situations are not created equal.
You're right, and I'm not saying that they are. And all I'm saying is, I completely understand the vitriol. I understand completely where he's coming from, like the exact point where he's coming from, right? But at that point in time, as a professional, you have to act as a professional. We get it.
Why are you asking him to be professional when no one else was?
Like I said, I understand. I completely understand where you're coming from, and I definitely understand that point. Why does he have to be professional? I was just going to get there. Why does he have to be professional when the people that's coaching him and the people that's paying him aren't being professional? Brother, I completely understand that point. But at the same time, we got to understand. You got to be the bigger man. Somebody got to be the bigger man, bro. So who's it going to be?
Wasn't me. Clearly, it wasn't him. He said, "Fuck that."
Exactly my point, dog.
And they said, "Fuck that," and they released him. So
if you're not going to be
like,
and that's the thing. That's what I'm getting at, bro. We know how the NFL is. We know that them niggas ain't gonna never be the bigger man ever. Take that as an opportunity, bro. Go in the game. You gotta swallow that. Swallow that. Bite that fucking bullet, dog. Get in the game and then go to the locker room and holler at Coach Shanahan, holler at John Lynch, holler at all them people as a man. You don't walk off as like that, bro. In no situation is that okay.
No, like I said, I do not condone walking off shit whatsoever.
But the fact that you,
but it sounds like you do.
You gotta swallow that.
No.
You gotta take that to the chest.
I'm defending. I'm defending him not going in the game.
I feel that. And even if he didn't go in the game, even if he sat his ass on the bench and said, "Fuck y'all," I'd have been just like Earl Thomas, right? When Pete Carroll was essentially forcing Earl Thomas to play because Earl Thomas wanted out, and then Earl Thomas ended up getting hurt, and he flipped off the whole entire sideline, including Pete Carroll. Yeah. I completely understand it. I'm with him. If DeAndre Campbell sat on the sideline, took off his helmet and shoulder pads, said, "Fuck y'all, I'm not going in the game," but stayed his ass on the sideline, hey, bet. I'm with that too. But don't walk off the field, bro, because to me, how I was raised, that shows weakness. You just showed them that they fucking won.
Yeah, I'm petty, so I would have sat right there and just looked at it.
I'd have sat right there, and then I'd have followed Coach Shanahan to the locker room like, yeah, we got a conversation to have, big dog.
You darn go. And then
Yes.
y'all would have been in the unemployment line with him on Monday morning.
I would have took that.
And I'm okay with that. And I'm okay with that.
As long as I knew I was standing on business. But
yeah,
I'm not.
Like, people
I understand. There's a thing called integrity. I do get that. And sometimes, the point you have to make is doing what he did. But
because the biggest thing, like I said, they basically said they like fuck you right now. We're like
basically that's what they did.
And then it came the third quarter when they needed him. It's like, oh, okay, well, we need you. It's like, nah, you said fuck me earlier, so keep it. Mm-hmm. Just keep the same energy. Mm-hmm. That's all. Just keep the same energy.
Put your ass on that sideline and stare at them niggas and score and laugh at them because now they losing and they need you.
Right. And that's pretty much what it came down to. It's just like we're losing. The defense isn't playing like we thought the defense was going to play with Greenlaw coming back. We're missing something, but the missing thing was me. We could have worked this out had the conversation been right, but there was no conversation. So now,
do you think it would have still gone that way? Because that's, you're throwing out a hypothetical that may not have gone that way.
If he was splitting reps, I don't think he never walks off the field.
Or if he was at least told about it. If he was
told about it, yeah. Like the way he acted, he did not know what was going on. Like
I guess what I'm saying is if he did and they said we're not gonna play you, then the guy gets hurt, in case something happens, the guy gets hurt and he says, I don't want to play. Does that change the situation?
No.
Only if he doesn't walk off the field.
Only if he doesn't walk off the field.
So it doesn't matter whether he was told up front or not told up front, the result would have been the same?
Yes, because he's coming off an Achilles. It wasn't like Dre Greenlaw he played like the first 5 weeks of the season and then he pulled a hamstring and he was out for 3 weeks and then he came back. He's been gone since last February. He wasn't in training camp, he wasn't in OTAs, he wasn't in nothing. And then he comes back this Thursday night and then you start him. You didn't start me and then worked him into the defense. You told me I have to sit down and not play at all until he said he didn't want to play no more, but now you want me to play. No.
Well, I mean, I guess I guess the point that I'm trying to ask is you said if he'd have been told up front that this is how this was going to go. Because that's what you said. You said, it's not like there was a conversation he was told. So whether he was told up front and in this case he wasn't told up front, the reaction would have been the same, him walking off the field.
No, I don't condone him walking. I keep trying to say.
Well, him saying I'm not going to play.
Right. I'm cool with him saying I don't want to go. I don't want to play. I'm cool with that.
Okay, then I guess it doesn't matter which way it went then, if that's the case.
Yeah, because you telling me after 14 weeks, I'm top 10 in the league in tackles, I'm second on the team in tackles, I'm doing all of these things, and then you telling me I'm not doing that no more. All right, cool. Then just keep it like that.
Do you think?
Don't call me in the third quarter when the team is losing.
Do you think he's still going to be in the league?
Somebody pick him up.
Somebody will pick him up.
He'll ultimately find a job somewhere.
Yeah, somebody pick him up. He'll be on the Chiefs by fucking Tuesday.
I'm an Eagles fan, so.
Patrice would be so happy to have met you if she was here.
Big All right. So the warm up and the shit. We on the hour. I told you, Moo, this is gonna be a long ass fucking show. But I'm gonna speed run it.
Hey, we getting it in, man.
We ain't got tomorrow. We got now. We ain't got next. We got now. We ain't coming no more. Just know when you on this goal side, we turned up the whole game, bro. We finna be live. We finna be popping it. I don't know how you got this camera and this helmet, but I like it. Let's go.
Yeah. All right. So if you was watching, you was on the socials, we saw Brett Favre and Mark Gastineau. Yep, we saw it, and this happened.
I started the sack dance, and now it's okay. But then it wasn't.
There's a new rule that we'd call the taunting rule. We've named it that. You've been accused of causing it to come about because of your antics after all your sacks.
The media?
Didn't like it.
No, but how about if I did the same stuff now? What would it be now? So why don't we get it through their heads, man?
I'm not done. Got one more.
Anybody will tell you Brett Favre took a dive. And you know it, she knows it, he knows it, and everybody knows it. I didn't know what had happened. The NFL should have stopped that and said, listen, no, that's not a sack. He took my record away from me.
Mark Gastineau's record of 22 sacks in a single season, which he achieved in 1984, stood until the final minutes of the 2001 season.
Straight hand gets the sack. And you know what? No one's happier than Brett Favre. He gets the record. Well, he got a gimme is what he got.
There was nobody else that wanted Michael to get that more than Brett, and he showed it right there.
Okay. So the internet is calling Mark Gastineau the soldier boy of sacks. So he started it first. All right. All right. So let me get to this real quick. It's funny to me because records are meant to be broken. Okay? That's just, it is what it is. How you break the record is always subjective because we've seen wide receivers get close to a record and then they catch a little swing route and you're like, did he really run a route to get that last catch? No. Could you say it's cheating? You could. But it's a catch at the end of the day. We've seen it. We've watched running backs, they'll get the ball all the way to the 1 yard line and they'll bring us, like they did it with Jamal Williams. And instead of, victory formation, they ran the play, got him into the end zone for the touchdown. Shit happens. It is what it is. You got to get out your feelings. So that's me. What do y'all think? Is he justified in his anger or is he just being too sensitive?
Too sensitive. It doesn't matter. Times are changing, especially back then. And now people got mad talking about Jalen Hurts and Cam Newton, his record, saying that doesn't really count because Cam actually ran it in. They were doing the tush push when it came to Jalen, so they were trying to, play his off too. I think he's not to bring up age and stuff. He just wants his record because he's older. He wants to be remembered for something. He still has the record. Like he still has his name is still going to be attached to that. So it's not really a big deal.
I literally just watched that tonight before coming out here. We went to eat and they had that up playing. It's that whole reliving my glory days, type of thing. And I should have had this, I won't tell you what I said about the guy. Probably not nice to say on here, but I think he should just let it go. I mean, at this point, he doesn't have to, but it's done. It's not, you can talk about it all day. It's not like they're going to go back, and, take what happened away and make you the number one person. But
the crazy thing, the crazy thing about it is TJ Watt broke the record too.
Thank you.
So I won't say what I think that is because you are right, TJ. Huh?
Say it. It's inside the huddle. We don't care. Facts over feelings. That's how that is our motto over here. Facts over feelings.
Sometimes it has nothing to do with the record, I guess, is the thing.
Right.
So
no, he's petty because one, he's still mad that he's not in the Hall of Fame. Number one.
Yeah.
He doesn't have.
I mean,
like,
they did call him, he was the mama's boy. So I guess, he just doing what a mama's boy does. He crying about something.
Exactly.
So I guess why would you expect anything different?
And he plays for the Jets.
Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing about this. His problem shouldn't be with Michael Strahan or even Brett Favre, because Brett Favre has other problems that he should be worried about. His problem should be with the NFL and their rules on how they count a sack, because half sacks matter, full sacks also matter, and he broke.
If a quarterback is running out of bounds and you're the closest man to him and he's behind the line of scrimmage, you get credit for a sack.
You get credit for a sack. If you and another teammate are in tandem and you sack the quarterback, you guys both get credit for half a sack. So the 2 games in which he had half of a sack probably will be the games that you should probably go back and watch film on and be like, okay, maybe not. But if you go back and watch film on those games, you would understand that he earned both of those half of sacks. And he completed 1 full sack because, let's face it, Brett Favre literally was in the fetal position.
Yeah.
Either that or get hit. So, like, Brett Favre made a business decision. That's a sack. I'm sorry to tell you. In the rules, NFL official rulebook and guidelines, that is what
it's a sack
is. So I don't understand the vitriol and why this is everybody's even talking about it, bro. Like, go watch the film.
It's just good because he was crying like a baby. So I was just like,
No, he was. He was called mama's boy, so he just living up to the name.
And then you play for the Jets, bro. Like,
and then you play, but the Jets don't got a lot of things to be proud about. So then,
come on, dog.
Till this day.
To this day, talk about it.
To this day.
Be quiet.
Which brought me to another thing, because he was mad that he wasn't in the Hall of Fame, and I watched Shannon Sharp.
How many people should have been in the Hall of Fame? A lot of them. So,
well, I'm gonna get to one right now. I'm gonna get to one right now because we drew a lot of, well, at least I did. A lot of people called me out my name over this whole, because I said Patrick Willis is not a Hall of Famer because, in my opinion, he didn't do enough in his time to be a Hall of Famer. But the bar was set. Okay? 7 seasons, he did what he did. But now my argument has always been that Sterling Sharp should be in the Hall of Fame. Sterling Sharp is not in the Hall of Fame. And in my opinion, he did way more in his time in the NFL than Patrick Willis did. But for some reason, Sterling keeps getting overlooked in the Hall of Fame. Well, for the Hall of Fame.
Just got picked for a finalist this year.
He just got picked again, so we're going to see what happens. Hopefully, they will find the error in their ways from last year and make it right and put Sterling Sharp in the Hall of Fame.
What's the hold up with? I watched the Pivot a lot. That's my favorite podcast besides this one and my own. How come Fred Taylor's not in the Hall of Fame yet?
Fred is another one who should be in the Hall of Fame. We did, just last week, I told you, we had our little, talk about Fred, and the criteria for the Hall of Fame is, it's harder to get into the Hall of Fame in the NFL than it is in any other sport. Well, except baseball. Baseball hard as fuck. Plus, I got a whole nother thing I want to get to about that too. But Fred should definitely be in the Hall. I don't understand why he's not. Steve Smith Sr. should be in the Hall of Fame. I don't know why he's not.
True.
He has, I think, 1 more year, 2 more years before he's eligible?
No, there's no way. He's been retired for a minute.
Because I know they have to be retired for a certain while before
5 years.
Because we already know Steve Smith is first ballot.
No, it's 5 years. He's been out the league for 5 years.
Yeah, so he probably should be coming up within the next you within the next few?
Not this year. He retired. In 2016.
Oh, yeah. This year. He should be coming up this year.
No, he should have been in. Like, he would have been eligible. He would have been eligible in 2021.
Yeah, but you know how the committee is, and you know how they like to play around with the bullshit. So
that's too much playing around.
We know that,
because like he should be in. There was another wide receiver. I think it was Torrey Holt. We got to do our Hall of Fame show again and see who needs to be in again.
Most definitely.
So, but then it got me into another thing. Like I said, I want to touch it. What do you think is I don't know if y'all know anything about this. This would just pique my interest before we move on. What's the hardest? Can you rank these triple crowns? Hockey, baseball, NFL, NBA. Triple crowns. What is the hardest to get?
Elaborate on Triple Crown. What do you mean?
I say baseball.
Okay. In baseball, it's home runs, batting average, RBIs.
Mm-hmm.
Football, there's a couple different for football because you got the quarterback triple crown, you got the receiver triple crown. That would be yards, catches, touchdowns for wide receivers. Quarterbacks, it's yards, touchdowns, and I think completion percentage. I think. And then basketball, points, rebounds, assists.
Points, rebounds, and assists.
Well, the easiest is going to be basketball.
Definitely. That's the way when I looked at it, I ranked it baseball, hockey, football, basketball. Hockey is hard as fuck.
No, hockey is,
When I went and looked at it, and Wayne Gretzky is a mutant. I don't know how he was that good at hockey.
And I know baseball is it should like how you ranked it. Baseball is number one, the hardest. Yes.
Yeah, because there's only been one player in modern baseball history to get the Triple Crown. That was Miguel Cabrera in 2012. Before him, it was 1967 was the last person to get it in baseball.
I'm gonna go.
Well, I mean, it's probably hard to do that when everybody's all using the same type of stimulants. So you kind of.
But you would think that one of them would have did it.
Huh?
Yeah, you would have thought one of them would have did it. But nope, wasn't close.
I'm gonna go baseball, football, hockey, basketball.
Hockey is hard as shit.
It's hard in hockey.
Basketball is easy as hell.
Basketball is definitely the easiest, but just looking at football and all the factors of the game, that there's a reason why that list is so short. Like that shit is hard, especially at receiver. Like that is a hard feat to accomplish. And
the hockey one is even worse.
Trust me, if I didn't like really watch hockey, trust me, I wouldn't be saying this, but like just me looking at all the factors of the game of football and everything it takes to win a game, and you add on to that somebody leading in not only receptions, yards, and touchdowns amongst their peers. Because with hockey, when you break it down to an analytical level, you got your enforcers, you got the defense, and then of course you got your scorers, right? So, and a lot of times in isolation, the scorer can be a lot easier if they are kind of that guy, like a mutant, like Wayne Gretzky, right? So like when it comes, especially if it comes easy to him, in that sense, but even in football, like you have to rely on somebody, unless you're playing quarterback, you're relying on somebody to get you the ball. And like that within itself, like to me, is crazy, because even in hockey, you can take over the game in different aspects. If somebody is Offsides, if somebody is here, there, you can go, boom, body smash, check them, boom, take the puck, and I'm on a fast break. Football, especially playing receiver, and this is the reason why I'm just speaking on receiver, I literally have to wait for brother to throw me the ball.
Yeah, it's probably easier for a QB. You have more options.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So that's fair. Like I said, I'm gonna speed run some of this.
Hello. Number 2, but number 1 in your heart.
I just think we were prepared. You know, one thing my trainer, he told me, he said, what did he say? He just told us to be prepared. I just think.
Yeah. And Sabrina's new, so she don't know. We started all of the Jameis Winston love and hype. It started here, just so you know. It started here. Nowhere else. We are the he was the avatar for Inside the Huddle.
He was literally our spirit animal going back to 2023, almost 2022.
Yeah.
When he was with the Saints?
Yes.
When he first got to the Saints.
See, the last game, was it the last game of the season versus the Falcons, and he did a touchdown in the game?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's when he let Jamal Williams get the touchdown.
And that's when I respected him. That's when I was like, oh, who is he? He actually enjoys the game. Like, he's actually a walking meme, but he actually enjoys the game. Like, he moves as if he's so grateful to be there. And I respect it.
Now, okay, let's talk. All right, so you said respect for the game, and let's talk about disrespect. Okay. I don't like, this was, you're new, so, you're going to get introduced to the Patrick Mahomes hate that runs deep through my blood. Okay?
Okay.
Same thing with Josh Allen. I don't believe neither one of these dudes should be up for MVP. Neither one of them. They're both ass. So, once again, Thursday night, everybody, you wasted an MVP performance by Josh Allen. He put up 5 or 6 touchdowns, yada, 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 yada. So y'all didn't watch the game. So clearly, nobody watched the game. They went, looked at some stats and was like, oh, Josh Allen was balling out of control. No, he wasn't. He's playing like some shit. For 2.5 quarters, Josh Allen was trash. He started playing when the score was 34-17. He had nothing to lose at that point. Absolutely nothing to lose. First half, he completed 10 passes for 150 yards. That's what he did. That's it. They were getting smoked. He was getting outplayed by Matthew Stafford the entire game. And I hate when people say, well, did you see what he did in the fourth quarter? It doesn't matter. You have to be consistent all the way through the game, not just when you're out of it. Because if I was to flip it and he went crazy in the first quarter and then tapered off in the fourth quarter, what would the narrative be then? Oh, he didn't keep up the performance from the first half. He got tired. You got to keep playing. You got to play good in the first quarter, good in the second quarter. Not saying you got to be perfect, but he was trash. Their first 6 possessions went touchdown, block punt, touchdown, punt, punt, punt.
It was bad. I actually watched that one.
Like, he did not play good. And they will overhype it and overblow it. Oh, well, he's got to be the MVP now. No. Not to mention, we talked about this last week. They've only played 3 teams with winning records on their schedule. And they lost to 2 of them. They got blown out by the Ravens. They got spanked by the Texans. And then they beat the Kansas City Chiefs, who are bigger frauds than them. So, I don't know where this MVP performance is coming from.
No, it shouldn't have been that game. I mean, I like I said, I actually did watch that one, and it was cringe, before, they were, he did his little thing later, but I just know I was sitting there watching like, why now? I mean, where did all this come from?
Exactly.
Just kind of out of the blue was just like, oh, I'm a great player now. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yep, it's trash.
The question for the MVP race is, why is it only quarterbacks? Why is it the quarterback race? Aaron Donald said that in his retirement video with his wife. And I thought about that since then. It's like, why are we even bringing up Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes out of everybody? There's all types of players. In my opinion, not saying because I'm an Eagles fan, but Saquon Barkley has had one hell of a year. Doing plays that no one, he jumped reverse, he jumped backwards. That's an MVP type of player.
Because there's criteria you must hit at certain positions in order to be considered for MVP.
Mm-hmm.
For quarterbacks, it's normally tied to your stats and team record. So if you're on a really good team and then you're putting up really good numbers, chances of you becoming the MVP are really strong. For a running back, you have to have an crazy season. I mean, nuts. In order for Saquon to win, if the Eagles had the Lions record and Saquon was doing this,
he'd probably be there.
He would definitely be leader in the house for MVP.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's on pace to have a historic season, and the team is really, really good. And it would be because of him.
That's fair.
And same thing with a wide receiver. You would have to be the catalyst of the offense and on a really, really good team for that to happen. You'd have to be Randy Moss.
He would have to rush for 2K. He would have to rush for 2K.
Right.
Saquon would have to rush for 2K.
He would have to run for 2K, and the Eagles would have to. I mean, they can still get the number one record in the NFC, depending on how everything shakes itself out. So he's got a chance. He's actually my second. No, he's third. I got Saquon third. I got Lamar, Jared Goff, then Saquon.
And
fair.
Yeah.
That's the only reason why, because unfortunately now that's the precedent, right? Because with Adrian Peterson being the last person to win it as a running back and him running for 2K, that's kind of what everybody's going to be grading it as. So that's the reason why it kind of has turned into quarterback type award, is because the last time we seen, a running back do anything like this was Derrick Henry, but they didn't even give it to him then. So
nope.
Right. Because I don't think the Titans were good.
I mean,
they were decent. They were decent.
We were decent, yeah. But it's not like we had this awesome record. No.
I think y'all made the playoffs that year.
They went to, I think they went to the AFC Championship either that year or the year after.
Mm-hmm. So it's it's hard. I mean, I guess.
But I mean, we barely got there. I mean, it was a wing and a prayer every single time they played. So if like you said, if they were trying to use him as the catalyst of the team, but when it came down to when we lost, if he'd have been that guy, we would have won that game. So
right. And I think the MVP is called most valuable player, not best statistical player. So I think they would have to probably start to really define it better, because there may be somebody who doesn't have the quote unquote numbers, but they're actually more valuable to their team because they play a position that's not stat worthy. If that makes sense.
That's what the award is supposed to be.
Yeah. I mean, true.
Because I could make an argument 3 years ago, Trent Williams was the best player in the NFL. And probably should have gotten MVP vote, because that San Francisco offense doesn't do anything if he's not there.
Seen it last night. Last night.
You know what I mean? when you can line your left tackle at left tackle, tight end, and then put him at the slot to create space for your running backs,
You're an MVP. Yeah.
I think you're pretty valuable.
And they put him at fullback.
They
had that man pulling across.
Same thing with Jason Kelce. I think Jason Kelce was very important to that Eagles offense. Like you can't put a value on what Jason Kelce was doing for that offense. Like we had that conversation about how offensive linemen get overlooked when we have these conversations because they're the silent monsters. Like they do all the dirty work and get no credit for any of it.
It's almost like for linemen, it's like that's your job.
Yeah.
That's what you're supposed to do,
And we highlighted the Eagles linemen and the San Francisco 49ers. We highlighted those linemen specifically because a lot of what those teams do, they moved with those linemen. It starts up front.
How hard it is to snap a ball and then lead the screen?
Yes, I do.
T?
Yes.
T, you would know.
No, you know what it is.
That's hard. Like that's crazy.
I think it's also they don't if you don't have really if you don't include yourself into pop culture, people will let you be forgotten. And I think Fred Taylor said that on one of the episodes how he was a quiet guy. That's why he got overlooked a lot. Guys like Jason Kelce, he's a center. Like he had all this fame for the last 2 years. It's like, oh my God, Jason Kelce, he's famous because his brother as well. But it's also like he made his own name in Philly, in the city, and the fans and all that. So I feel like if you're a quiet guy and you go by, that's how it is. But if you have a big personality like Aaron Donald and Trent Williams, you're gonna be seen, and people are gonna say, okay, let's see his stats too.
Yeah, but that's the thing. It's like, what stat can you look at for Jason Kelce? Because you can say, look at all the rushing yards and all of the, the yards that so and so gained off of screenplays. He don't really get credit for none of that.
No.
You just look at it and be like, oh, well, the running back got X amount of yards.
Right.
Oh, the quarterback threw for so many yards. Yeah, it's like, so it's hard. Like we, like I said, we like to get, everybody to do just, their credit for the things that they do because we've said it 1,000 times. Football is the most team-orientated sport you can possibly play. It's the most everybody depends on everybody. There's nobody of the 11 can do their job without someone else. Like it just doesn't work.
To see what Jason Kelce brings to the table, and like Mel said, his value is unmeasured because his stats don't get recorded. So you have to really go back and watch the film to see what he does great. And when you see the holes, when you see the movement, when you see him pulling from the middle all the way to the outside, and him leading Saquon or him leading Kenneth Gainwell, him leading DeAndre, whoever it is, to the end zone, Jalen Hurts, it's like, bro, that's unmeasurable. Like that's a different level, especially at his size. Like, bro is massive.
When you that, and then you got to turn around and then do it again.
Like,
right?
To move his belly out the way, because we understand he drink beer, so he got the beer belly. Okay, to move his belly out the way and open his hip up, right at a 90-degree angle, and shoot down the line, and then curve it up the.
Yep.
He can probably 360 windmill. I'm not even gonna lie to you.
I wouldn't doubt it. But then now let's get to the other eye of my storm. Patrick Mahomes. This fraud is still, I don't know why people don't they really must not watch football games. Because if they did, they would not talk about him the way they do. He's been in decline the last 3 years. Trust, I don't care about the end result. I'm just talking about him as a player. 4 years. We can say 4. Now, if I told you, okay, let's get to this. Who has a better offense? Matter of fact, I'm not even going to tell you this. I don't even care. The Chiefs' offense is ass. And it's because of him. Like they'll tell you, like the Seattle Seahawks offense needs help, but the Seattle Seahawks offense is just as bad as the Kansas City Chiefs offense. But for some reason, because one has Patrick Mahomes and the other one has Geno Smith, we look at it totally different. Like, no, he turns the ball over into
who's winning. They're gonna go for who's winning. The end result matters the most.
They're winning despite Patrick Mahomes. The defense is playing out of its mind. And you got lucky in 6 games. 7, really. Now, when you have a defense as good as the Kansas City Chiefs have, you can afford your offense to be mediocre. I won't call them bad. They're mediocre. But it's a far cry from what the Kansas City Chiefs offense used to look like.
True.
Because they made a big deal. They was like, oh, well, if the Steelers get into a shootout, they don't believe that they could win that game. Well, Russell Wilson has changed everybody's perspective on that part of it because we watched him do that twice already. They played very low-scoring games. They played high-scoring games, and they did that. The Kansas City Chiefs, they get into a shootout, they're going to die. They don't got the weapons. The quarterback is playing bad. It's not a good look. They can't run the ball. There's a lot of things wrong with the Kansas City Chiefs. And I'm still holding out faith. The football gods are going to take care of this. They're going to even out the playing field, and it's going to happen in the second round of the playoffs because it's done right now. The regular season is over. They're probably going to lock up the number 1 seed. They're going to get a bye, and then they'll get their doors blown off in the second round of the playoffs.
I hope it's going to be
and
the
I'm
first.
going
to you.
And I'm going to be happy.
Second, but don't matter. I take the first round bye as a second, as the first round and damn. So that's the first time y'all playing. It's going to be the Steelers. That's what it's going to be.
They better hope they don't play the Steelers.
It's going to be the Steelers. I'm calling it right now. I said the last night on PBT. The Steelers is going to be the ones to knock off Kansas City. And I'm not even a Steelers fan. I don't even like the Steelers. Okay, I'm a Raider fan. Everybody knows this. But it's going to be the Steelers. Watch. I'm going to be so happy too.
I want it to be Lamar. That's my only thing. I just want it to be just so they can stop saying Lamar didn't beat him in the playoffs.
And that's where I'm at. I want it to be Lamar too. Trust me. But it's going to be Tomlin. I think it's going to be Tomlin. And the whole Russ beat, that whole narrative is going to go crazy. But Tomlin, he in his bag this year, bro.
He definitely in his bag this year. Okay, just me and Mulder's going to talk about this.
No. I mean, it's nice to hear, I mean, we know you hate Patrick Mahomes, so.
It's not hate. It's not. I want to stop saying hate. I'm a truth teller. I keep trying to tell you, I'm a truth teller.
You're a truth teller?
I mean, no one wants to see
I think they're going to upset you. I remember back when, when Brady played with the Patriots, and it was always, they're playing like garbage this year. And, when it gets to the playoffs, if they got to play such and such, they're going to lose. And then people would get really pissed off because then they did not lose, and then they'd be in another Super Bowl. So, it may go like that for Mahomes, so, I mean,
it's going
you never know.
No one wants to see them have a 3-peat. That's
it's going to happen.
We don't. No. We don't for sure, but I remember the same thing used to be said about the Patriots.
It's going to happen on Christmas.
What?
Huh?
It's going to happen on Christmas. Oh, happy Merry Christmas to me. It's going to be my Christmas present. Yeah. They're going to lose on Christmas.
They're going to get scraped on Christmas.
To the Steelers, okay? And then they're going to lose again in the playoffs to the Steelers. I'm telling you, it's going to be so beautiful. Oh, my gosh. I might bake a pie.
Well, as long as the script says it, right?
Look, I don't care. As long as the script says it.
As long as the script says it.
We're going to have to. But he's not playing good. At the end of the day, he's not playing good. They've gotten lucky in several games. It is what it is. I'm not going to take that away from him. But like I said, rent always comes due. It always comes due. And
Guess we'll find out on Christmas if you get your gift.
Yeah.
Oh, it's gonna be lovely. I'm so excited.
All right. You know where we're going now.
Hey, fellas, let's work today. Let's focus. We still got the main thing, right? Let's keep the main thing. Say that. Keep the main thing. Keep the main thing. Let's go.
Well, somebody should have told Travis Hunter to keep the main thing the main thing.
Oh my goodness.
Okay. So, if you like me and Sabrina, we've been arguing on the internets about this whole situation. So I'm gonna let Sabrina. Tell me, what was your conversations going like?
So on Twitter, they were just calling him insecure and saying that he's low self-esteem and he doesn't know who he's with yet. I don't understand it. If they've been together since they were in high school. I think he was a senior in high school. She was a freshman in college. I watch her TikTok and see her all the time. She breaks down their relationship. They make videos all the time. So I don't understand. They took that little clip and made it seem like the typical wag, oh, she's crazy. She's there for money. He doesn't know who he is just yet. Now, they're both young. I think he's 21 and she's 22 or 23. So they're young. They're growing. I'm 23. But making him seem like he just is insecure person and she ruined his last game. He literally had her in the Adidas commercial. He just signed to Adidas. He brought her onto the commercial with him, his debut. He's not leaving her. He proposed to her for a reason. He loves her. She loves him. They have rules in their relationship. She did a video, I think like 2 days ago, talking about the rules that they have for each other. They seem like realistic things. At the end of the day, it ain't our business. It's not my cup of tea. Maybe hers, maybe his. And that's just how it's going to be. But the discourse of people projecting their insecurities is weird. The whole, oh my God, leave her. She's there for the money. At the end of the day, it's not coming out of your pocket, so it doesn't matter. If you want to project your insecurities or project narratives onto her, it doesn't matter because he knows her. He's there with her. He lives with her. I think he knows who he's with. And then I honestly feel like male fans, sports fans, have more parasocial relationships with athletes than any woman or any, gold digger and all that could have. So it's a funny thing to watch, but the discourse of making him seem like this insecure person, he doesn't know who he's with, she's just there for the money. It's disrespectful to him because he could have a character too. He may have personality. You don't know. And they grew up together. So it's like, what are we talking about? We don't know these people.
Right. I'm glad. See, this is why I'm glad we got women on the show today. Because we have to have both perspectives when we're talking, especially about something like this. We got to have both perspectives. And you touched on on things that I want to talk about as well. Because you said they grew up together. This is funny because had the situations been reversed, the conversation would be very, very different. Because had this been a 21-year-old man, boy, whatever it may be, in college, had his own place like she does, talking to a high school female.
Now, I could be wrong. I don't know for sure, but that's
No. It is. I'm telling you, these are facts.
Okay.
These are facts. People wouldn't be championing this like they are right now. The conversation would be very different. Groomer, PDF file, a lot of words would have been thrown at the man for that. So let's table that. You said that because most people were saying that, oh, well, they know each other. But it's come out, not so much. So apparently, she was a stripper in Atlanta at Cheetahs. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I see. I just watched a little cute TikTok. Get ready with me.
So, and she's been on this warpath to kind of like scrub the information that has been coming out about these things. And,
so are you trying to say there's a double standard there?
Oh, there's definitely a double standard. Definitely a double standard.
Okay.
But the thing about it is, the way I'm looking at it is this. I don't like getting in people's business, but for my sake of my business and my brand, I gotta be petty and nosy and messy and all of the things. That's how we get views. Now, Travis put himself in this situation. He's the one who initiated all of this. He jumped into her DM. He reached out to her. He did all of these things, not knowing who this person was. She also didn't know who he was until it was time for her to know. Like she said, they went to a party because she didn't want to go by herself. She brought Travis. I'm pretty sure when they showed up to the party and everybody was like, oh, that's Travis Hunter, she realized who she was with. So all of the, oh, we fell in love that day. You didn't fall in love. You knew exactly who you was with.
But what about growth? I feel like she's young and that she could have made mistakes in life. Like, I like watching Real Housewives of Atlanta. Nene Leakes was a stripper before she grew. She became this wonderful woman, a lovely wife. So I feel like, I think she's 23. I don't know if she's older, like 23, 24. A lot can happen between 18 and 23. So maybe, she's grown. She always talks about he helped her grow. Like her mentality changed because of him. And they can pour into each other in different things. So,
but the thing about that is, at least from everything, all the information that has been coming out and the stuff that we are just doing research and everybody's been gathering. Yeah, Travis didn't know she was a stripper.
Well, is he still with her?
Yes.
They're engaged. She was just
they're engaged. Okay.
They're
and you said
you
said she was trying to scrub the internet from anybody knowing about that. To me, and I don't really know too much about the situation, but if somebody's going to great lengths to do that, they're doing that, because they know who they are with, and they don't want this to be a thing that looks bad upon them. I mean, because if she didn't care, she wouldn't do that.
This is why I wanted women on the show, because men look at it totally different. Completely different.
Most men would look at it as, I'm dating a stripper.
Right. No, men don't date strippers.
So is that like
men don't date
strippers? Get her in the prime?
Men don't date strippers.
Men don't date
it's like
then men don't marry strippers.
No, men do date. Okay, men don't marry or date strippers, but they might have started out that way and they ain't that way no more.
Because, all right, then there's another layer to this. Another layer. So they're getting married the day after rookie mini camps. Strategic move, because that's when the contract becomes guaranteed, whatever guaranteed money. They're also getting married in Tennessee. Neither one of them are from Tennessee.
Okay.
Now, why that is eye-raising to some people, because if you look up the laws in Tennessee on marriage, prenuptial agreements get contested in Tennessee.
Yes, they do.
So if they view that the prenuptial agreement is not in favor of both parties, they can overturn it in court right then and there, no contest. Second, alimony is automatic. Third, what was the third one? I wrote it down, but I left my book in the thing. There's another one. There's another layer to it. Because what happens is, now, if they do get married, and she can sign the prenup, but if the prenup, let's just say it's 90-10, they still have unreconcilable differences as a reason to get divorced. In most states now, they killed that. There is no fault divorce. Like, you have to have a reason why y'all getting divorced. But in Tennessee, not the case. So they can get married, and in a year from then, she can say, I don't feel like being here no more, and then leave, and then contest the prenup, and she can still get portions of his earnings, yada yada yada. Opposed to if they was to get married, let's say if Denver has a top pick, New York, like if he goes to New York, she a dub. Like all that stuff is.
He could end up going right back to the crib in Florida.
Right. And all those states, you can't. There's no such thing as no fault divorce.
There's a specific song that comes to mind here that I feel like somebody should be telling him to listen to. Underground Kings.
I mean,
y'all are familiar with Underground Kings. One UGK.
And like I put it on.
When the International Players Anthem comes to mind, okay, Travis? A specific line in there, 103 Stacks lets you know. All right.
So is the problem because of who she is or because of who he is?
The problem is most people feel she's not there for Travis. She's there for herself.
I would play
it.
But how do we know that?
Right. I mean, she's what, 1 year older than him?
3.
Is that right? 3 years older than him?
2 years and some months. 2 and some months.
Oh, okay.
And no, I'm gonna get to it right now because you can't. All right. When he reached out, she said out of her own mouth she didn't like him. He wasn't her type. She friend zoned him. I know what that feels like. I'm pretty sure Mulish knows what that feels like. We have women on this panel. There are guys that you put in a box and they don't come out that box.
Is that what you presume? Okay. That's very presumptuous of you, but okay.
Kind of skip on that.
Now, you put men in that friend zone box and pull them out of it.
I kind of
when not only were they friend zoned, but you said that you were not attracted to this person at all.
I could go into a story real quick and kind of trump, kind of put all that to rest, but you seem like you got it all figured out. So
go ahead. That's why I said we got women on the panel. This is why you're here.
Okay. Well, Donita over here, my husband Don that you have talked to or whatnot. When I first, met him or whatever, was a friend. I thought that I didn't know him too well, and I thought he was married, which turns out that he wasn't. But when I found that out, I was not attracted to it. And because I don't, I'm not a home wrecker. I ain't breaking up nobody's happy home. No, none of that. Immediately became unattractive. But once I found out that I was wrong about that, came out of the friend zone, out of the box, and we've been married for 16 years. So it does happen.
How much time did you spend with him personally in the same space before that happened?
Which part? Before he came out of the box?
Yeah. Like how much one-on-one time did y'all have?
Like a year.
Like a year.
Mm-hmm.
They had 1 day of one-on-one time.
1 day.
But she said on a recent TikTok they were talking for months for a while. Then she said, I'm gonna give him a chance. And Tabitha Brown said, you may be looking for a red card, but you might get a black card that starts to chip away, and then you find out it's red. So maybe she did the growing and all that, and she said, you know what, he's actually a great guy. Let me give him a chance. She gave him a chance. She's grown from her situation. She stopped being a stripper. She grew, and she's like, you know what, this guy is so courageous. Look at him chasing his dreams. I want to know more about him. But
I bet she did. She was
because the way you're making it sound like because when she found out he was Travis Hunter, it was like, oh.
Because he was still in college. It's like, okay, so he's gonna go to the league. They all said they're going to the league. So it's like
he was in high school.
Gonna go.
He was in high school.
And then he went to Jackson State.
Don't do it. Reconsider.
When they their
Sure.
first date was when he was in high school.
Sir?
And he was how old and she was how old?
He was 18, she was 21.
He's an adult, right?
That's how we doing this?
That's not, no, we can't do it like that. We can't.
No. This is great. No, this is great. I love this. This is great. I love this. So it's okay.
You said okay. You said it was
because I'm clipping
you
this
said
up.
it was a
I'm
double
clipping this up for
standard,
TikTok.
right? Can you get arrested if you are 18, an adult, and that person is older than you? Will they arrest you for that?
That is
No,
so
but have you experienced
crazy.
more
This is
life than this person?
amazing.
This isn't a box, but this is like a tube, and Pandora's tube opened. Kind of closed that motherfucker, but it's not. It's not going anywhere. Pandora's box is just.
I'm just saying. I mean, you said that there was a double standard. So if you're going to stand on that, huh?
Right, because if a 21-year-old college man was dating a 18-year-old high school senior, the majority of women would lose their damn mind.
Since a box full of matches, it's
okay. Were they dating or did she meet him?
Yeah, that was a good question. I think he just DM'd her.
Yeah, and then they were dating when he was in high school. Their first meeting, because when you watch the clip, she said they hung after they became an official couple. After their first date, it was a Sunday, and he stayed at her house, and he had to get up and go to school on Monday.
I need to know a little bit more context about this. I'm sorry. I am sorry. Because I mean, if she just knew him or whatever, he was 18 and she was 21, I mean, if they weren't dating, that's just my take on it. But no, if she was dating him after the first time she met him.
Yes, they only met in person the day that she had to go to a friend's birthday party or something, and she didn't want to go alone, so she said, "Well, I might as well bring him." Talking about Travis, and that's when they met for the first time in person.
Yeah, because she dubbed him when he tried to.
And she said after that day they fell in love. Her words.
But they weren't talking before.
Just texting through like DMs.
No, but you remember he slid in her DMs first, and she ignored him.
Yeah,
and then
she
started
for 2 months.
Time of day. Yeah, for a few months, and then she gave him the time of day after.
Okay. Well,
I tried to.
I mean, as a parent, it's not ideal on either side, but I mean, he's how old now?
21.
And she's 23.
23.
Does the story, that backstory part, make it an issue, or is it just she's an issue?
It's an issue to the public. I don't think Travis cares because he said it on the pivot. He said, "The more hate you give her, the more I'll post her." So
right, but that was before the stripper stuff came out. Because shout out to House of Hypocrites, because he's the one that's been on it. And if you want to go watch House of Hypocrites, he's the one that got all the whole story. And Travis and the girlfriend reached out to him. Travis did not know about the stripper stuff.
His whole life is a mixtape. Oh my God.
I think that's
crazy.
A little conversation for them. I don't think it's going to end their relationship. I think it's
something
does. In her past. So if it feels like
I hope it does.
It's her past. It's like, she grew from it. Maybe she didn't want it to be out there. Maybe she didn't even want him to look at her differently. So,
probably.
Your past is important.
International Players Anthem, Travis. That's all I'm gonna tell you, big dog.
Yeah, like unfortunately, like because okay.
Big dog. I know you're young, but focus on that first verse, man.
Right. I'm assuming this is me. I'm just making assumptions. This is the first, like, I don't know Travis whatsoever, any way, shape, or form. But I'm going to assume that this is the first girl of this. He doesn't strike me as somebody who's out like that. For him to be as big of a star as he was in high school and college and all of that, he seems more like a homebody. So he's not out like that. So he's not around a lot of women. He doesn't get a lot of female attention. Okay? So for this to happen, he latched on. He's very young. He's naive. He's very green in this situation. So he latched on, and she got him. It happened. It happens to the best of us. It does.
You make it sound like she was a Venus flytrap or something, and he just landed there, and she just sucked him up or whatever without him knowing anything about what was going on.
Unfortunately, that's exactly what I think.
This seemed like some deep-seated personal,
No,
stuff
I'm an
that
athlete.
we
I'm an
may
athlete.
not know about.
No, I'm an athlete.
You
I know.
understand.
I've watched this happen. I've watched this. We watch these types of things happen all the time.
I think
You know it. It's one of those things where you know it when you see it, and you recognize. Say it again.
I think what you just described is there's a particular scene in Friday from one Betty Jones. She tells her son, "You have no game," and I think that's what we're describing here. Is a lot of these kids nowadays on social media, on the phones all day. They don't really get human interaction.
You know
they
what it
don't
is?
have no game. They don't.
What the
can't
kids
walk
say
up
now?
and talk to you.
What the kids say? You ain't out. You weren't outside.
Yeah, they wasn't outside. You know what I'm
Travis
saying?
wasn't outside.
What do they call it now? What do they call it now? It's not game. I'm sorry, I'm too old. Y'all call it
Riz.
Riz.
Yeah, Riz. He ain't got no Riz.
I know Riz. Yeah, he ain't got no Riz, bro. And a lot of them don't.
The young kids.
They don't got
That's
no
what the
in
young kids
person.
say.
You know what I'm saying? They don't got the in-person Riz. They got the online, you know what I mean, where you can kind of pretend to.
How does his family feel about it?
Nobody knows.
I mean, we talking about it, so somebody got to know.
I mean, the only person that we can that's close enough to him. Well, the two people closest to him. One, Coach Prime, told him, "Watch yourself, don't do it, and if you do it, get a prenup." And Shador, who was completely shocked that he's actually going through with a marriage and all of these things.
But Shador, he's been attached to I think her name's Jasmine Ray or Summer Ray. She's 28. So I think, how old is Shador? 22?
Shador is 20. No, Shador is 21. I'm thinking Travis same age.
So when he was with Storm Reed, it was okay. It was cute. It was like, okay, look at these young people.
No.
He got hate for being with
Never.
Storm?
Who was?
Yes.
Never mind.
She's an actress.
Yep.
She's on
The same way LaMelo Ball is getting burnt up for dealing with, what's that child name?
I don't know none of these people, bro. I'm sorry.
Yeah, he with some, I forgot, I can't think of her name right now.
They all share the same woman. I'm thinking it's the same woman. They all share the same woman. So this
would have been okay if they were the same age?
Yeah, they're the same age. They're the same. Yeah, it's not just. It's her mentality and her age. It's not just her age.
The international players anthem. I'm not even going to lie to you.
Yeah,
but they do this to every athlete. No woman is ever going to be good enough for them because they're not. That's that parasocial relationship again. It's like no one's ever going to be good enough for this athlete, this quarterback, this basketball player because of the money they have. That's what makes them is the money and whatever logo they have on them.
Because I mean, if she's younger, you'd say she wants to ride on his coattails. If she's older, she wants to ride on his coattails. It's like it doesn't really matter.
It's the mindset behind it. See, if Travis would have met her in high school and she goes along with him, they met in high school. It's not about the woman and why she's there. It's her and where she came from and the motivations behind it. She's a stripper.
Pass.
Okay. If you were a guy, right? And the girl that you were dating had put up a post that I like drugs, sex, and money. Just like that.
God forgives, why can't I? Like this.
This is great. I love this. This is gold. I just want everybody to know. This is gold. Sabrina is never leaving the show.
When I told y'all open Pandora's box. Oh my goodness gracious.
It's not fair.
It's not like we came up with the topic.
It's just open. It's just the force of this month.
That's what love is. That you accept me for who I am and what I've done in life, and then you know that I'm gonna be a better person. It's called growth, redemption, and forgiveness. And then if they weren't even together at that time, it's not his business either. Should he know so he doesn't look embarrassed?
Pretty much,
for sure.
Yeah.
That's something that he was owed. Don't let me be embarrassed. Don't let them dig something up and I don't even know about it. Now, if he knew about it before it got public, then he could handle it a lot differently. Like, okay, well, now they know. But I already knew.
Do you think she should have told him when they met?
Maybe not day of, but eventually when they got
eventually, yeah. But the day they met, no.
You don't think that's important?
Nah, I don't think.
No. Not on the first day, no.
Why am I giving you my work experience? Like,
it's a job interview.
Yeah, what's your work like?
It's a job interview.
No.
This is great.
Should I print out her resume and hand it to him?
The lid of Pandora's box was just thrown across the yard, by the way.
This is great.
It's not even in the vicinity to where I can put it on anymore. It's halfway down the street now.
From what I get from her TikToks, she doesn't give like conniving and very strategic. It looks like the girl is in love. She went to all the games this season. She got nice, cute little outfits. She go to Marshalls and Target and do her little hauls. I don't think it doesn't give like what people keep trying to put on her. I don't think it gives that. Especially if you see someone go from high school to Jackson State. He went to HBCU. I don't know if she's educated on HBCUs at the time or at all, but if you saw it, you'd be like, he plays football. For now, he plays football. Then he getting a lot of traction because of Deion Sanders. Okay, he gets Deion Sanders.
He was the number one high school recruit in the country.
You know, I'm trying to save her right now. I'm trying to say like maybe she is for sure. Like
at the end of the day, like you said, we don't know them.
Yeah.
You know, so at this point, it's all speculation. It's all perception. Hell, they may, stay together and, be married for the next, 20 years. I mean, you just don't know. So at this point, it's all him.
Yeah, no, we don't know. I'm just, like I said, my job is content-wise. I'm trying to be as messy as possible.
Okay. Well, you've succeeded. So
all right. So let's move on to the other side of Travis. This Heisman thing that they're going to do tomorrow. A lot of people, delusional people, don't think Travis Hunter should win the Heisman. I don't think that it should be particularly close. Me personally, I think Travis should basically be unanimous Heisman winner based off the production, all the things that he's done this season. But you have a group of people, and I also think that Shedeur not being in New York for the Heisman and being a finalist is absolutely criminal and ridiculous, but there's a whole nother situation. But they think that, Ashton Jeanty actually has a shot at this. I don't. What do y'all think?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
I think the player from Oregon didn't have to be on that list at all. No disrespect to him.
Dylan Gabriel did not need to be there.
Yeah, it made no sense. This definitely is Travis Hunter's award. Being a two-way player is insane. The fact that he played, like, how many snaps did he play a game?
A lot.
Is that
pretty much all of them except for like 2 or 3?
So it's his reward. I think people are just trying to make a debate because they don't like Colorado, Travis Hunter, Deion Sanders. They don't want a product of Deion to win a Heisman. So I feel like that's the main point. They don't want the product of Deion Sanders to win a Heisman.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I'm getting from it. It's just more Deion Sanders hate train moving. And they don't, because I don't understand how Shador wins the he won the Johnny Unitas Award, which is the top quarterback in the country. And I think he's going to win the Davey O'Brien Award for best quarterback as well. But then he doesn't get invited for the Heisman, which is absolutely ridiculous. And how Travis
Gabriel
is up for the Heisman, but wasn't up for the Thorpe Award for the best defensive back in the country.
And none of this makes any sense. Like I said, Shador has better stats than Dylan Gabriel. Everybody's saying that Travis shouldn't win the Heisman, but aren't even thinking about the last time we got a player that played both sides of the ball and he won the Heisman. Travis literally has outplayed him on, unfortunately, both sides of the ball. Like, come on, guys, we gotta really do it, because everybody talks about how Charles Woodson and blah blah blah, and Charles Woodson was used more as a gadget player. Mel will tell you he went to Michigan. That's his favorite school.
Yep.
He didn't get as much snaps as Travis got at a receiver. So we got to stop trying to push that narrative that Charles Woodson was just out there playing receiver and 97 snaps. No, he wasn't, bro. He was a punt returner and he was a gadget player for reverses. He mainly played defense. Travis is literally matching what he did on defense the year he won the Heisman, not to mention outplaying him on offense. 1,000 yards, under 100 receptions.
Yeah, you can't be a top five wide receiver and a top 5 D-back, and that's insane. That's insane. And nothing. This is no slight at Aston Genty, like we did this last week. There's been a bunch of running backs to rush for 2,000 yards in a season, like a lot.
There's been
he's not doing. Yeah, like he's not doing nothing we haven't seen before. Like it's.
Do you think is it because of the team he's on? Maybe plays a factor.
Most of the guys that run for 2,000 yards, believe it or not, play for shitty teams.
Most Scatterbo, 2,000. He plays for Arizona State. Unfortunately, they're good this year, but they weren't good last year.
Yeah.
No, they weren't.
When Rashard Penny did it, he played for San Diego State.
Yeah, true. Boise wasn't good last year. Here they are.
Troy Davis did it twice, which is crazy. People forget about that. He had 2,000-yard seasons in his college career. But it's not about it's no disrespect to Ashton Genty and what he said. He had a great season. I'm happy for him. I hope the Raiders can pick him up and he can be a Raider next year. But as far as his Heisman go, it goes to the best college football player, and the best college football player is Travis Hunter.
Kind of like what we were talking about with the NFL. What, MVP?
Yeah. And then the argument that people was making that made zero sense to me was if you was to switch the two of them, Boise State wouldn't be ranked, and Colorado would be a way better team than they are right now. Like, so y'all really don't watch football. You think Ashton Genty gonna run behind that Colorado offensive line?
Hell no.
Thank you.
You think they do the Shador?
Thank you. And you put Travis in the Mountain West.
In the Mountain West? Bruh.
In the Mountain West? Oh my goodness gracious.
He gonna go nuts.
What?
Okay.
Man gonna have 10 interceptions.
Easy. All right. I was gonna get to the college football shit, but we're already at 2 hours and 15 minutes. So we're gonna get to this fourth quarter because we gotta get everybody up out of here. Late. We can bring everybody back next week and do it better. The first half, I fucked it up. I'll take it. That's all my fault. I did that. fourth quarter, we finished strong. You know how we always start fourth quarter. Our guy over there at Polymarket Sports. Let's get it.
Week 14 of the NFL season is over. Holy shit, that was beautiful. This is what happened in every game. God touched us all on Thursday night. No Jay-Z. Thursday night football has been euphoric in recent weeks. I guess those Amazon checks are finally hitting. Oh shit. Do my ears deceive me? Or do we have a white man walking in Detroit? Game tied with no time left. Jake Bates, walk it off, white boy.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride. Both ends of the ocean burning. Funny how.
Another absolute classic Jameis Winston performance. 41 passes attempted, completed about 20 of them, had 2 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. Love it. The Giants should relocate to Toronto. Aaron Rodgers just threw for over 300 yards in a game for the first time since 2021. Put that in your documentary. Also, the Dolphins low-key have a shot at the playoffs still. Motherfuckers are at 15% to get in on Polymarket.
Skip.
Kirk Cousins is preposterously asinine. Bro is still throwing to Viking players in the year 2024. If James Bond is 007, then Kirk Cousins has been 008 in his last 4 games. 0 wins, 0 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. Apparently, some dude put $3 million on the Eagles to win this game, and I think it was Xavier Legette. Here come the Buccaneers. Nobody wants to play a 9-8 Tampa team led by Baker Mayfield in the playoffs. The bread must rise. Zach Charbonnet completely dog-walked me in fantasy this week. I have nothing else to say. It took us 14 fucking weeks of football before the 49ers started trying. If you don't think rushing yards are an offensive line stat, I encourage you watch any 49ers game where they got some fucking CFLD 3/5 string guy rushing for 2 touchdowns and 100 yards. Josh Allen might be my daddy, but he is way too glazed by the NFL. Bro QB sneaked his way to 3 touchdowns, and his 3 throwing touchdowns were mainly just his receivers going crazy. How the fuck you gonna lose a game you were favored in and jump up to a 75% chance to win MVP according to Polymarket?
Today, we're going to talk about depression.
Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase are the best quarterback-receiver duo in the NFL. On a more serious note, Lisa Simpson is the first woman to ever score an NFL touchdown. Okay, now fucking follow me at Polymarket Sports for these videos every week, Pookie.
Shout out to the guys over there at Polymarket Sports. Once again, blessing us with another gem. I hate the Kansas City Chiefs so much.
Absolutely
They should have lost that game.
Absolutely despise them because there's no way.
No way. No way. And watching the Jets lose is a joy that I never thought I wanted in life. And it's mostly because of Aaron Rodgers.
Do you think he'll ever be released?
Well, this is last year, so I think he has a player's option at the end of the season. I don't think he's gonna he's not gonna opt in. Him and Devontae Adams got a play option at the end of the year. Well, the word was, it was crazy that I didn't even get to the Bill Belichick going to University of North Carolina.
Yeah.
But the word was that he was talking to Bill Belichick, and him and Devontae Adams and Bill Belichick were all going to go to the Giants. How true that was, I don't know. They still was going to be asked, so it don't matter.
His time is up. It's not about coaching. You gotta go. It's you.
He just sucks. It's just he won't accept it.
I'm excited for the Bill Belichick conversation because I want to know how the new generation is going to adapt to that type of coach.
Probably not too well.
Yeah, I don't know. Okay. I don't know how it's going to work because I don't believe 18 and 19-year-old kids, unless Bill Belichick is going to do something completely different and change his coaching style and how he is as a coach to adapt to younger players.
Well, I mean, isn't his girlfriend, isn't she younger?
Yes, that's different. He's
maybe he'll learn some stuff from her.
She can't coach the team. So look, this is my thought about Bill Belichick real quick. What are you going to do with you being almost 80 years old, good sir, when a whole bunch of 19, 18, 20-year-old, sometimes 17-year-old kids, right? Because we understand Ryan Williams. What are you going to do when they ask you to gritty, big dog? Okay?
If he gritty,
you are dealing with children, okay? They are going to ask you to do some you are going to be on everybody TikTok, okay, Instagram Live, all kind of shit, all right? And I know how you are.
TikToks
okay?
for sure.
TikToks for sure. If this joint don't get don't get banned in January, right?
all I know, next year, that North Carolina Colorado game is gonna be crazy.
You can have everybody walk out like soldiers. That's the cool part about it.
I think if the younger generation is really a student of the game, someone that admires and respects the game, they'll look at him as a weapon and move from there. But if they think like, what does this old dude know? It's gonna be a tricky transition.
You're gonna get a bunch of them. You're gonna get some of them. I'm 100% sure. There's gonna be a couple of these knuckleheads. They're gonna be like, Bill Belichick don't know shit, and it's gonna be a problem.
And the only reason why I know that is because my boy Mari, he actually was on one of our episodes. He played under Lovie Smith when Lovie went back to Illinois, and of course, him being a student of the game, appreciative of the game, loved it. Right, NFL legend coming back, right, coaching in college. There was a lot of players that was just like, so.
Yeah, it depends on the communication.
And yeah, we're gonna see. All right. So that brought us, like I said, my hatred for it's not even really the Jets. It's just Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams doofy ass. But
for me, it's the Jets.
Right. So again, we got to live at your own pace, drive of the game.
Peace and blessings, y'all. This your boy Dre, Mr. Live at Your Own Pace. Man, it's Friday and I'm feeling good.
Smith, first catch today. There he goes, galloping into the secondary, and finally brought down by Chuck Clark at the 50.
Come on! Come on! Over with, no? It's over with. Come on, call game.
Good time to the end zone. Got it!
Let's go! Let's go!
Smith, touchdown! The Dolphins win!
I told you! Let's game, boy! Let's game!
The Bucs put out in overtime in Carolina.
Come on!
Apologize to no one for this victory.
Good. Nobody say a word.
I wish that the Jets never traded for Aaron Rodgers.
That was a grown man professional football drive.
All right, shout out to my boys Jim Dre and Dre over there at Layup. Always supporting the show, doing their thing over there. Black-owned businesses. Those my guys. All right, so let's get into these picks. T left. She dropped out and got her GED. So
look, she tired.
Hey, we all understand. Education comes first.
All right. First game on the dock Sunday. Ravens Giants. Now this is coming on the heels of Lamar Jackson saying his mother chewed him out. So Lamar is probably gonna run for about $150 and 2 touchdowns, and throw for another $250 and 2 touchdowns. So if you got Lamar Jackson on your fantasy team, get ready for a big ass game, and he is putting belt to ass to the Giants.
Definitely going with Lamar.
The Giants had a practice yesterday in the red zone, and where they went 0 of 17 for passes.
Oh God!
This is
at
not
practice.
At practice. For context, 0 of 4 was against the air, no defenders. 0 of 13 was against one-on-one defenders. So that should tell everybody everything you need to know.
Yeah, it's gonna get ugly. Who you got, Brittany?
Going with Lamar. So.
All right. Next up, we got, I don't know, is Bill playing this week? We got the Jaguars and the Jets.
Nope, he's not. He's out for the rest of the season.
Oh, Bill's okay. So Sabrina, just so you know, we're talking about Trevor Lawrence. Because he's been playing like ass, we don't call him by his nickname. We call him by his government. When you play like ass, we call you by your government name. So his name is William Trevor Lawrence.
Okay. Never knew that.
Yeah.
So
I was defending him too. Not him, but Aziz El Shahir.
Huh?
I was defending him a week ago, 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, that's still our guy, but he's playing like trash. So
yeah,
my nephew is actually my nephew is normally in the comments. I got to find out what happened to Andre today because he ain't been in the comments today. But I'm gonna take the Jaguars anyway.
Are you?
Yep.
Yeah, actually, taking Trevor Lawrence's play or Williams' place, William Trevor Lawrence. We have I know a lot of people know him as Mac Jones, but because he's also
I am taking Noodle Arm all day.
Oh no. His name is Michael McCorkle Jones. So that is what we will be referring to him to. Okay. AKA Mac Jones. But I see why go by Mac, but his name is Michael McCorkle Jones. That's what we will refer him to.
I'm taking McCorkle in the Jags.
Yeah, give me the
just
Jags.
because I need the Jets to keep. I need the misery in Aaron Rodgers to continue.
I'm gonna have to go with the Jets. I don't like the Jets, but I mean, with William not playing, they probably got a better shot.
I don't watch neither team, so I'll just go with the Jets.
All right. So that's two Jets. Okay. This is the one right here. I'm calling ass whooping in this game because they due for this. Panthers, Cowboys. I'm taking young Bryce and the Panthers.
I don't like the Cowgirls, so I'm gonna go with the Panthers.
I'm like, I actually think I see the Cowboys winning.
I'm going with the Panthers because I need them to keep winning. I got
and plus, this is the win that's going to catapult them out of the first pick.
I got motives over here, man. I got an agenda.
Yeah, we got motives over here.
My motives are dead, so it doesn't matter.
I got the Cowboys. Sadly, this is the first time ever in my life saying Cowboys. But
I will never do it. I'm a Washington. I'm a Commander fan.
I can't. It goes against everything in my religion.
Everything. Yep. Speaking of Commanders, they're next. Washington and the Saints.
Washington.
You already know where I'm going.
Yeah, Derek Carr broke his hand. I think Taysom Hill's probably going to be out for the season.
I think Taysom's out for the season.
Yep. So, I'm going to. Jaden is back. I don't know if anybody noticed, but my boy over there balling, man. You better stop playing with my boy from Fontana, California, dog.
What you got? I know you got the Saints, Dom.
I mean,
no.
I can't. I want to, but I just can't.
All right. Well, here we go. Titans, Bengals.
Shit. That's
You said Titans and who?
Bengals.
Titans against the Titans, basically. Still be a loss. The Bengals.
Yeah.
No, I'm taking the Titans because, like I said,
are you serious right now? That man threw for 10 yards by halftime. Come on.
It doesn't matter. I got an agenda that I need to push here. Okay.
You know how we do it. This is how we do it.
For my soul and for my spirit, because we number one right now. I need to maintain that.
I'm sorry. So you going for the Titans because of your agenda?
Yes, absolutely.
The agenda and kind of like how I feel about Aaron Rodgers. I need Joe Burrow to feel pain every week.
I mean, he's been going through something right now, so I feel like
he really is feeling pain. After his whole break-in, the girl showing up. all of that right now. So
trying to make up the store to fix it. The store didn't add up.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. This is
I'm
the ice
surprised you
cream on
didn't
the
bring
cake.
up that conversation.
That's coming too. That's on the way. I can only do one of those a show.
No, I'm going with the Bengals. I'm sorry. You can't throw for 10 yards by the time halftime rolls around and think you're going to win a game.
Against the Bengals, we can do it.
I got Bengals.
It's the Bengals.
Tighten. We're gonna tighten up. We're gonna tighten up. You know how the show is. We always get these. So.
You're gonna be disappointed like every other Tennessee fan here, like me.
All right,
so
I'm gonna call you on Sunday when the game is over. Like what I say. Then this is the biggest one. Christmas gonna come early. Jameis is gonna deliver us. Pastor Jameis is gonna deliver us this victory over the Chiefs on Sunday.
The Browns versus the Chiefs?
Yes.
No.
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 The Browns beat the Steelers, so let's see.
Look, Jameis may not play good against shitty teams, but when the good ones roll around,
but you said they were shitty, so wouldn't that work the opposite way?
Record-wise. So Jameis gonna do his thing. That's our spirit animal, so we gotta go with Jameis.
Look, they got their win against the Steelers. I think that was, it. So
that was their one this year.
That was their one. I don't like Ernie myself, but
they beat the Ravens too.
You think it's gonna be third time's the charm? Is what you're trying to say?
Hey, it's Patrick Mahomes. I'm rooting for this.
I know you are. I'm still look again. I'm not. The Bert and Ernie show. I'm not for them too, but I probably would go with Kansas City.
Yeah, I'll go with. I like Jameis, but I'll go with the Chiefs.
Yeah.
All right. We're gonna find out. Then we got Dolphins, Texans.
Dolphins.
Got my guy. Nope.
Texans.
CJ. I'm going with CJ. That's my Super Bowl team. I'm not leaving my Super Bowl team.
I can't go with.
I'm going Houston.
The Texans lost to the Titans. I just can't live that one down. So
shit happens. A broke clock is right twice a day.
It shouldn't, but it did. You're right. But I'm still gonna go with the Dolphins.
I got Texans.
And I'm mad at Dolphins. They cut my man. They waived Odell, so I'm really not fucking with it.
It was a mutual thing, and Odell needs to make that video like Carmelo did and like Derrick Rose did. He got to make his video. Love him down. He got one.
I don't like it.
I think he had the best. The last decade, he had the best career, pop culture wise. He won a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Come to Vegas, Odell. Get this. Come to Vegas. Get this. You, Shador, come to Vegas. There we go.
It's blurry.
It is blurry. I can't even see what's going on.
It's just the Raiders logo.
Okay.
All right. Now we got the Shitty Bowl. I don't like this game at all. I don't like neither team in this. Colts, Broncos.
Ew.
I would say it don't even matter. But
no, it really don't. The Colts.
I'm gonna go Colts. Yeah, I'm gonna go Colts because I hate the Colts less than I hate the Broncos.
Fair enough. Yeah.
I'll go opposite just for the hell of it. I guess Broncos.
Of course, I'm going with the Colts.
Yeah, you're not doing the Broncos. We got apparently they're saying Gerard Mayo is coaching for his job after 14 games, which is absolutely ridiculous. But we got the New England Patriots against the Arizona Fast Feet. That's Kyler Murray. I don't call him Kyler Murray. I call him
okay. No.
I'm
gonna go with the Cardinals.
You muted, Moo.
Fast Feet, Baby Kyler. One of those nicknames.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Fast Feet.
I'm going with the Patriots. I'm not even gonna lie to you. They've been playing a lot of good football. They're talking about Jared.
They've been playing, and I told you Drake May has changed my mind about him. So I'm actually.
I think they've been playing actually really good football as of lately. So
yeah, yep, I agree. I'm not even gonna argue that. What some people in the sports world and in sports media, the game of the week, the Buffalo Bills against the Detroit Lions.
Give me
I mean, it's gonna be a good game. I'm not gonna
Lions
lie.
gonna beat the shit out the Bills.
Exactly.
Give me Dan the man.
They gonna beat the shit out the Bills. This is not even gonna be close.
I love it.
I don't know. I mean, the Bills are like the team that just won't die.
Unfortunately.
Unfortunately, but they're gonna die on Sunday.
They're gonna die on Sunday.
Dan Campbell gonna kick them till they do die. He gonna stomp their ass out.
I'll go with the Lions. I'll go with the Lions.
All right. Next up, got the LA Chargers versus my Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Give me the Buccaneers because the Chargers. Y'all know how I feel.
Shake and bake.
There we go.
I see it now.
Yeah.
I'm a real Raider fan. Forget anybody. Trying to watch my language. It's been getting on my nerves about cussing and stuff like that. So forget anybody in the AFC West. That's not a Raider.
No? Okay. We actually got a lot of Raiders fans here in Nashville.
Gonna get crazy when we get shit doing next year.
Oregon got a team.
Next up. Okay. This would be like the second biggest game, according to everybody else. You got the Steelers, Eagles.
Eagles.
She couldn't wait to say that.
I was waiting. I was looking it up. Like, is a game that's Sunday? Yeah.
I don't know if Patrice will watch this or if she's watching it or will ever see this on a recording. So I have to go with the Eagles or she might hurt me.
I'm a fan of Mike Tomlin, though. Everyone's a fan of Mike Tomlin. If you hate Mike Tomlin, you're weird.
Thank you.
Well, you are weird. But I'm going with the Steelers in this. I need Russ to keep cooking. So I'm going to rock out with Pittsburgh on this.
I'm going to go Pittsburgh because I need them to clinch, and that's going to give them more incentive to beat the Chiefs on Christmas.
Exactly.
But I won't be surprised if the Eagles win this game. I'm not even going to lie to you.
I would. A.J. Brown going to throw a fit. He's going to be the next motherfucker to walk off the field.
I understand that. We have to talk about this.
Yeah, I had it. Trust me, I had it all in there, and then I went. The Caitlin Clark thing threw me off.
Yeah, for a minute. Yeah,
you did.
I apologize.
I think AJ misunderstood, but we'll get into that.
Yes, no, we definitely gonna get into it. Like I'm working on something else. Me and Mulich.
Yeah, we got something cooking right now.
We got something cooking. It's
well, we had him and made bad moves, so everybody's still sour here about that.
Yeah, Titans made some bad moves, but we're not gonna talk about that.
Y'all didn't deserve him. Y'all didn't know how to treat him, so he had to go. How we did what he needed to do.
We don't know how to treat anybody. Trust me. I totally understand.
Crazy.
Right.
Crazy narrative.
Next up, Packers Seahawks. You already know where I'm going.
Packers.
Yeah.
Jordan Love is the other guy for us. Jordan Love is the other one.
I thought they were going to win the Brazil game. Not going to lie.
Yeah, no.
I blame the field.
All right. Then we got Monday night. We got two Monday night games.
Oh.
We got my Chicago light skinned Caleb's and the Minnesota Vikings. I'm going Caleb. I need Caleb.
I'm going Vikings.
We've been struggling.
Yeah, going Vikings.
I know. Conventional wisdom says take the Vikings, but like I said, it's team light skin all day. So I'm going with Caleb.
Okay.
I have a plan in motion. that I need to execute. So I need the Vikings to win because I need a disgruntled DJ Moore. I need him to be more disgruntled. I have.
He's definitely gonna be disgruntled.
Yeah.
Have a plan.
Oh, okay.
Okay. That's all I gotta say. I have a plan. Okay. The more things happen,
All right.
the more things go according to plan. That's all I gotta say.
Right. So, speaking of which, last game Monday night, Raiders Falcons.
And y'all know
this is okay. You know how we do this. It's always Raiders, but this is the only time I condone tanking. Okay?
It's the only time.
It's the only time I will condone tanking. But Kirk Cousins can't get out of his own way. Kirk Cousins gonna throw like 8 interceptions on Monday.
that's fine. I don't care if nobody scored this game, okay? Because look, we all know the Giants are gonna lose very badly, okay? But that's perfectly okay. As long as we can get
the Raiders. Yeah, the Raiders just gotta lose. That's it.
We are sitting at
We already messed ourselves up, so I gotta, help him out with that. So, hopefully Raiders will lose.
At a beautiful prime #1 spot right now, okay? Which means Shador is on the way. Don't mess this up for me, okay? I don't care because y'all like to win games when it don't matter at the end of the day.
Are you
Yes,
okay with the Sanders boys being a duo? Like a
Yep,
package?
you're gonna get both of them.
Fine.
Shiloh and Shador will be in Raider uniforms.
But I need it, okay? Don't mess this
We
up,
need it.
AP.
Look,
okay?
and
What's his name?
try hard, fucking. What is it? Desmond? Who's the quarterback? Desmond Ritter?
Ugly light skin from Atlanta last year. Desmond Ritter, thank you.
Yeah. Don't try hard.
Yeah.
No.
And now ain't the time. Now is not the time.
Now is not the time. You are not fighting for a roster spot, my nigga. You are not.
Everybody understands motive. Okay? It's not time to be a
There's a
superstar. It ain't time to be practice player of the year. It's time to go out there and throw interceptions and make sure that Shador is holding up the Rolly at the end of the end zone in 2025, 2026, bro. That's the motive. That's the plan right now. Okay?
You want to be on the Raiders next year?
More, we
you
can
lose
get
this
in here
game.
too. Okay? I need y'all to rock with me. I need y'all to rock with me on Monday, okay? Make my Monday a great week.
Yeah, and all them niggas, Sincere McCormick, I've been waiting for you to get into the lineup. Stop running so hard. Hit, go down.
Just throw the game?
Throw that shit. Relax.
First
It's all right.
contact, it's okay.
Go down.
Okay? Relax. Max Crosby don't even play this week. Okay? Relax, dog. Okay.
Brock Bowers, you got the rookie record for tight ends and all that shit.
How many games have the Raiders won?
2.
That's all.
Damn.
Against who?
We don't care. Should be nobody.
Okay, I just need the plan.
They beat the Ravens. We still don't understand how they beat the Ravens.
The plan's here, and I just need y'all to rock with me. Okay, we are here, and we understand the plan. Okay, Telesco understands it. AP understands. Everybody, Tom Brady get it. Okay, let's make it happen. Come on.
Everybody gets it. Don't fuck this up. This is
We
very
are
easy.
here. We have won the championship of the draft. Do not relinquish this. Okay.
That's it.
With the #1 pick, the Las Vegas Raiders select. That's all I need to hear, and I'm gonna cry. Okay.
Yeah. When Shador come up like this, we good. In the 3rd round, we'll pick up Shiloh. Look, the prophecy will be done.
Shiloh going 3rd round?
Yeah.
Super
good. We get Scatterbo. We look. This I'm telling you, Raiders. You get Shador, you get Scatterbo, you get Shiloh, and then you get a couple receivers, and we good.
We back, bro. That's it. But follow the plan. Because it's
Follow
here.
the plan.
I
don't need none of you motherfuckers trying extra hard to get tape. No. Fuck that. It's over.
That ship has sailed.
That ship is gone. We out of here.
Do they got the worst record so far?
Yeah. By percentage points, we got #1 pick.
Okay.
All right. So, with that being said, we're gonna end this on. This is the longest fucking show we've ever did. I think
we had one slightly longer than this.
I think we had one for 3, didn't we?
Yeah, we have one like legitimately for 3 hours.
Yeah, I told Brie, I was like, man, you came on a day that was gonna get crazy. I apologize. I didn't mean to have you up this late. All right. So we're gonna chop it up again with the ladies. We still got to get back into the Music City game with Derby City, all that. We need the trophy. I still got to get some highlights from the game because people don't like posting stuff on the TikTok and stuff, so I can't steal it.
We've got stuff up there.
They do.
I only there's like 2 videos.
I think there's 3.
You got the one where the girl jumped over. She thought she was Saquon Barkley and jumped over somebody.
I can get you some more before next Friday. Yeah.
All right. So we're gonna do that. Sabrina, you coming back? I told you you're not going nowhere no more. So
Of course.
All right. Well, Sabrina, you can end it. You can tell everybody where to find you, your socials, your pod, all that.
First, thank you guys for having me. You guys can follow me on Instagram and TikTok at Big Bang Brina with 2 eyes. And then I have a show called The Playbook Before the Playbook, which is on YouTube and Instagram and Twitter, plus TikTok. So make sure to check that out. First interview is already up. It's with KG, Caitlin Gilbert at LSU. And the next episode will be with Jeremiah Newman, who plays baseball at Southern University. And we declared for the draft for the MLB minor leagues first. But yeah.
Yeah. All right, Dawn.
All right.
You know, we got your stuff. But you can do it again. Because I know you do. You got tryouts and all that stuff going on.
Oh boy. All right. My name is Anita Hines. I am the owner and head coach of the Music City Misfits. We are a women's full tackle football team in Nashville, Tennessee. You can like, follow, share our TikTok. We also have Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, every social media you can think of. We are on there. We are coming towards the end of the year, so we are holding open tryouts starting in January. So if you would like to check us out, just be on the lookout for our open practices.
Yeah. And then, you know how we do. Monday, basket to basket. Wednesday, gentlemen's talk. We gotta get y'all on gentlemen's talk. I already told GQ, so we're gonna have to do that. And then play PVT on Thursday. Then right back here on Friday inside the huddle. It's been dope. We're gonna do it. See, the goal is we're gonna try and see if we can get Sabrina over here to be like the Molly Curum to our first take.
Okay.
That's the plan. So we'll see how that goes.
Can't wait.
So thanks, ladies, for coming through. It was a dope show, great show, long show, but it happens.
Fun show.
Time flies when you're having
good
fun.
when it's long, right?
Yeah, that's a whole nother show.
Let's go.
All right. Peace out. We will see you next week. It's been real. Stay. Y'all don't jump off because I'm going to hit the button and everybody leaves after I hit the button.
I'm not going to go anywhere this time, I promise.
Yeah, come on, push your button. Push the goddamn button. Push the goddamn